And Dr. Rimbo's places and restores implants, eliminating delays, additional costs, and no running around. New patients and emergencies usually seen within 24 hours. Cosmetic treatment often completed in 1 to 2 weeks. Read the reviews at smilesbyrimbos.com. Offices in Marco, Naples, Sanibel, and Fort Myers.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Name one small insurance company. Couldn't think of one, could you? Didn't think so. Most insurance companies are big, really big. They have thousands of lawyers. Imagine it's a beautiful day, sun is shining, birds singing. You're on your way to work, and then bam, your whole life changes in that second. Forever. You're injured, and now you have to fight for justice or live your life in pain. Let me give you some straight talk. Your opponent is not the driver of the car that hit you. It's their insurance company. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. Over $1 billion in one case alone. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The new administration has big plans for health care. Changes are coming that could limit your choices and make your health insurance premiums even higher. Tim Cooper at Health Plan Network recently saved a family of 4 here in the Fort Myers area $600 per month. Act now. Protect yourself and your family with a superior health plan that cannot be canceled. This is a nationwide PPO plan which allows you to pick your doctors and hospitals. Start saving 30 to 60% now. If you are on Obamacare, not insured, or on COBRA, you can look into a private health plan managed by you, not the government. Call Tim Cooper, an expert with 24 years experience at 239-368-6712. That's 239-368-6712. Online at healthplannetwork.net. That's healthplannetwork.net.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
It's in the jury's hands now. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin now waits for a verdict at his murder trial in Minneapolis.
6 white and 6 black or mixed-race men and women, all entering their second day of deliberation in the murder trial of George Floyd. The list of Chauvin's charges: second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. He's pled not guilty to all. But prosecutors are hoping they've done enough to convince the jury that Chauvin is responsible for George Floyd's death last year. Chauvin's defense argues the former police officer acted with reasonable force, claiming Floyd was under the influence of drugs and resisting arrest.
Fox's Caroline Shively. Walter Mondale died, 93 years old. From Minnesota, he was a U.S. Senator when Democratic presidential nominee Jimmy Carter asked him to be his running mate in 1976.
We had a talk about what he had in mind. I was not interested in a ceremonial job. I wanted to be a part of things, supporting the president.
He lost to President Reagan in the 1984 presidential race. President Biden has met with another bipartisan group from Congress about his infrastructure spending plan.
Utah Republican Mitt Romney says he believes there is bipartisan opportunity on infrastructure spending.
I think there's a great deal of interest on the part of Republicans to improve our infrastructure, and the challenge is going to be how it's paid for.
President Biden has proposed a more than $2 trillion measure with revenues in large part coming from an increase in the corporate tax rate. That proposal is unpopular with Republicans in Congress. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A medical examiner finds that Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes after the riot at the Capitol January 6th. 2 men have been charged with assaulting him with bear spray, but not with his death. It was initially reported he'd been hit with a fire extinguisher. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
Good Tuesday morning. Traffic is getting busy in Cape Coral on Oasis, heading northbound towards Gleason. Also a slight delay on Santa Barbara south to Veterans Parkway. It doesn't last any longer than about a quarter mile. North Cape commuters, the slowdown on El Dorado continues heading southbound to Kismet. However, we're still great over both bridges into Fort Myers. Also looks great coming out of North Fort Myers into downtown on the Edison as well as the Caloosahatchee Bridge. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Have that umbrella handy before you head out the door, Southwest Florida. We have another round of rain and storms in the forecast today. Now, the storms do have the potential to become strong at times, and right now I'm targeting that opportunity best between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Primary risk will be those gusty, damaging winds, small hail, and even frequent lightning. Now, Wednesday does feature another opportunity for rain and storms, but that severe potential looks to be a lot lower as our atmosphere stabilizes. Otherwise, late this week, we do get a little bit of dry time. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed mornings with Drew Steele.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along. If you're looking forward to a true deep spring cleaning, this is the year, because spring cleanings are as mental as they are physical. That being the case, maybe it's time to call the master designers at Closet Factory. In a blink, you have more than a cleaner space. You'll have a spotless new space freshened by intelligent, organized construction that'll be and stay cleaner than your old space, by design. Call us or visit closetfactory.com. More spring and clean in your spring clean. That's how we build it.
License number CCC 1332557.
You have hundreds of roofers to choose from, but at Crown Roofing, we think we're the only choice in Charlotte, Lee, and Collier counties. Crown Roofing, the highest quality roofs with competitive pricing. Looking to re-roof, repair, or get roof maintenance on your home? Count on Crown for superior craftsmanship and peace of mind. Florida's most trusted roofer, and satisfaction is our goal. Get Crown on it today. Call 855-CROWN55 or online at crownroofing.com.
Virtue, morality, and religion. This is the armor, my friend, and this alone that renders us invincible. These are the words of Patrick Henry, the same patriot who said, "Give me liberty or give me death." I'm Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, board member of the American Constitutional Rights Union, and this is a Live Free Minute. The founders realized that tyrants want total obedience, and that means destroying or controlling the faith of their subjects. American Constitutional Rights Union defends religious liberty in the courts and in the public square. Recently, we have helped churches under attack by bureaucrats who have used COVID as an excuse to threaten closure. We ask you to join us in helping Americans stand up to tyrants, because without the right to practice our faith, we can't live free. This Live Free Minute is brought to you by the American Constitutional Rights Union, a national nonprofit based in Naples, Florida. If you'd like to support our work, visit livefreeminute.org.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
This is Greg, owner of Tropical Generator. And when I started my generator business 17 years ago, I made it a priority to focus on reliability. Generators are a lot like fire extinguishers. Hopefully, you never have to use it. But when you do, it better perform flawlessly. There are a lot of competitors out there whose only goal is to separate you from your money. Whether the generator actually performs in an emergency, well, that's not really a concern. Instead of taking a big risk on a cheap fire extinguisher, call Tropical Generator today for a reliable generator system. I offer you 17 years of experience doing expert generator installations, a 4-year degree in electrical engineering, and the highest level Florida licenses in electrical and gas contracting. I also live in Fort Myers and have personally selected and trained every one of our employees. At Tropical Generator, we're big enough to help and small enough to care. Call today, 239-206-4509 or tropicalgenerator.com. That's 239-206-4509 or on the web at tropicalgenerator.com. License EC 13007873.
When you're hiring, there's no luxury of time. So instead of waiting for people to see your sponsored post, invite them to apply. More at Indeed.com/credit.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's, so just go there. You can watch on your smartphone, smart device. on your computer, dumb or smart, doesn't make a difference whether your computer is like that. I'm not really sure if there's such thing as a dumb computer. I guess a dumb computer is one that when you turn it on, it's just if it's an Apple product, it just gives you the big question mark. And if it's a Windows product, what does a Windows product look like when it doesn't? Like you're used to this, Jake the millennial. Like when a Windows computer doesn't boot up, like the software is something's not happening. Does it give you? It just gives you the blue screen of death kind of thing, or does it have
on fire?
Is that, well, in your house it does. But I'm saying I never, because it's interesting how Mac and Windows computers are the same but different, right? So if you're a Mac user, just a little this is just a little technical aside here. If you use a Mac computer and it doesn't recognize and it doesn't see your boot up software, you get a little question mark. Right? You see the little Windows icon, the Apple icon, and then you get a question mark. It doesn't see it, doesn't know where to go. It's just kind of hanging out there. On a Windows computer, what does it do?
It says, give me 5 seconds, and then it fixes the problem by itself.
No, wait, that's not true. Don't try to make it sound like Windows are better than Apple products.
They are.
All right, well, there's a little bit of opinion there. All right, good start to the program. Here's a little bit of opinion. Hate Bill 1. There you go. Hate Bill 1, Democrats decry anti-riot bill. It is fascinating to see what the discussion has been today when the governor of the state of Florida wants to protect citizens from those who would tell you that they're protesting, but we know the difference between a protest and a riot. Common sense gets thrown out the window. Or does it? Because for the majority of people in the state of Florida, they understand what the difference is between a protest and a riot. It's not difficult to see the difference. Unless, of course, for some reason, you don't like the idea that there could be some people who, I guess, could get away with bothering people at a restaurant, could get away with blocking streets and not allowing traffic to move freely, to destroy, burn, loot property that doesn't belong to you, that somehow that this all seems to be acceptable when it comes to protesting. And it's not. It is not acceptable. And so the governor said that's enough. We're not doing that here. And like I mentioned, it depends on where you go and what outlet you go to in the state of Florida to figure out what it is that's being done. If you go to the Floridian, our good friend Javier M. Harris, who wrote an article yesterday, DeSantis signs HB1, anti-rioting legislation. Florida now has the strongest anti-rioting law in the nation, made good on this problem as the Black Lives Matter, Antifa-inspired rioting that caused $5 billion with a B dollars in damage. Nothing to see here, just businesses within those communities and within communities all across the country that are trying to do their best, certainly during a pandemic and after a pandemic, and even before the pandemic, to create something, to take their hard-earned money, to create a business, to keep the business thriving, to not only do this for themselves, but to help others in the community. Do you not see that? I mean, those of you who don't get this, do you understand that in creating a business, you're creating a product and a service for others? It's not for you. I mean, it's for you in the context of the profits that you would be able to make to have this business growing. But do you understand, without people, customers, to be there to purchase the product or to use your service, you have no business. Sorry, I'm doing the common sense thing. I'm sorry. So $5 billion in damages, countless injuries, 30 deaths. And along with CFO Jimmy Petronis, Attorney General Ashley Moody, Speaker Chris Sproles, Senate President Wilton Simpson made the announcement that he was going to sign the bill. And that's exactly what happened yesterday.
We saw really unprecedented disorder and rioting throughout the summer of 2020. And we said that's not going to happen here in the state of Florida. And we wanted to make sure that we were able to protect the people of our great state, people's businesses and property against any type of mob activity or violent assemblies.
Right. So what is it doing? We all understand the difference, right, between protests, peaceful protests. What we're told are every single thing that happens, whether it's a riot or anything else or a gathering, it's peaceful. Except when you have CNN and a guy who's standing there saying it's mostly peaceful, everything's great, and you see people burning, and it's like a parody. Right? We've all seen the video of the CNN guy saying everything is it's mostly peaceful protest. Who was it? Ali Vesci, who was out on the streets during the mobs and the riots that were going on in 2020 while a building is burning behind him. Everything's fine here. Move along. It was like a bad Simpsons or a bad, not Simpsons. Well, maybe it wasn't like a bad Simpsons cartoon. Wasn't there something I don't know? I'm bringing up cartoons like I know, but I don't. HB1 tackles what he calls head-on the idea to defund the police as well. That was in there.
This bill actually prevents against local governments defunding law enforcement. We'll be able to stop it at the state level. And if you look at some of these places that have done this, they've already seen crime go up.
That's the reason why. Now, we are trying to look at this with common sense, right? You and I are looking at this with common sense, understanding that if you defund police, what happens? We see the increase in crime in those places, in those municipalities, in those cities. We see it. We know that there is documented evidence. This isn't made up. This is provable. And then also we understand the difference between a peaceful protest and a riot. And in the state of Florida, getting ahead of this. Now, it is interesting that this was moved and signed and taken care of yesterday on the heels of what is about to be probably a moment in time this week, sometime this week, where we are going to see riots across the country because the Derek Chauvin decision will take place and the prosecution and defense rests. It's in the hands of the jury. We're going to get to some of that audio coming up. And we see where this is leading to, where many people are saying, listen, it doesn't make a difference what the decision is by the jury. We see what's coming, and it's going to be unrest, and it's going to be rioting. It's not going to be peaceful protesting. It's not going to be anything of the sort. We know what's coming. We know cities across the country are starting to prepare for what is inevitable, which seems crazy to so many people, that you could take it to that level without any pushback whatsoever by certain municipalities in their cities with regards to a riot on their streets. Dereliction of duty when municipalities tell the police to stand down, warning that cities who are derelict can be sued by those victimized by police inaction as a result of stand-down orders being given by city officials. Does this bother you? Is this a good thing or a bad thing in your eyes? 239-479-5592. Because maybe you look at this and you take the other side of the position, which is, of course, DeSantis bad, Trump, Orange Man bad. I mean, we're still talking about Donald Trump. No, I'm not kidding. You know 2022, the election process is underway right now. Nikki Fried wants to convince the whole state of Florida that she is going to be the Democrat nominee for governor here in 2022 and is trying to be front and center. So they're calling it Hate Bill 1. This is what the left, the Democrats in this state are calling it. This is from Florida Politics. Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried joined Democrat lawmakers near the steps of the Florida historic Capitol on Monday to decry Governor DeSantis' prized anti-riot bill, which, by the way, has been described by the News Service of Florida and picked up by media outlets all across the state as DeSantis, and this is the headline, DeSantis signs protest bill as controversy continues. Protest bill? It's an anti-riot bill. Nobody has said anything about peaceful protests. Everybody knows what a peaceful protest is. You do, I do, and so does anyone who's getting ready to commit an act of violence or rioting or looting. They all know the difference. You know what? Everybody knows it. This is universal. This isn't something that you can look at and go, well, I'm not sure what that was. You know exactly what it is. But somehow, it is a protest bill. Governor never said you can't protest. Nothing in this bill suggests you can't protest, but somehow Nikki Fried and the Democrats are trying to make it sound that way. The press conference came hours after DeSantis signed HB1 into law, enshrining it as the most controversial proposal of the 2021 election legislative session, to cross the finish line. And here you go. Democrats and civil rights activists condemn the bill, a Florida Republican priority, as, here we go, unconstitutional and racist. It's unconstitutional and it's racist. Now, if you're asking, well, there has to be something specific that Nikki Fried, who we are told is going to be the next governor of the state of Florida, on the Democrat side, she's running. Clearly, everybody wants her. Look, it was amazing when she won the agriculture commissioner race here in the state of Florida. It was just, it was crazy. How she beat Matt Caldwell in numbers that, it was awfully close. And some might question, I'm not going to go there. I know, we don't want to make any. But anyway. So what is Nikki Fried's statement following the signing of House Bill 1? Again, as I've described it, House Bill 1 and being signed into law protects monuments in Florida. You don't have the right to go and take down monuments. We're not going to let the mob win the day, said the governor. So tearing down it, well, it's a Confederate monument. We're tearing it down. You don't get the right to tear it down and make that decision. The mob rules do not play here in the state of Florida. You don't get to make that decision. If it's something that the people in a municipality, in a city, see what I'm doing here? In a city, in the state, if they decide together that they don't want a statue or a monument, they can make that decision. But you don't get the right to tear it down without consequence. The issues of defunding law enforcement and how that makes it unsafe in cities for citizens who need to be protected in case of let's say, rioting or a lot of other issues. The defunding of law enforcement, those concerns. Anti-rioting, pro-law enforcement legislation going on right here in the state. So, as we will continue to talk about this more in detail, if you're Nikki Fried and you're trying to convince the state of Florida that this is the most awful thing, it's unconstitutional, we'll find out if it's unconstitutional. I mean, you'll challenge it. Okay, it'll be challenged. It's racist. Well, how is it racist? Explain how it, I'm sure that she can explain and others will explain how it is racist. They're the ones that said, according to Florida politics, it's hate bill 1. It's all about hate. It's all about racism because, 2022, you know how that is. There's a race for governor. But here's the statement from Nikki Fried, and I want you to listen to this because clearly, if there's something in this bill that has to be looked at, challenged as unconstitutional, certainly somebody who's going to be the next governor of the state of Florida will be succinct and specific and precise in exactly what the problem is. You ready? Jake, are you ready? He's looking at me and he's ready. It's an audio show, so you might, unless you're watching at truesteel.com. But you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. The following statement is, quote, "This isn't a game." So right out of the gate, okay. This isn't a game. This governor and his Republican allies love to talk about the Constitution while shredding it with extreme legislation like HB1. Silencing the speech of those seeking equality is straight from the communist regime playbook. The criminal aspects of this bill are already illegal. HB1 protects no one, makes no one safer, and does nothing to make people's lives better. It's simply to appease the governor's delusion of widespread lawlessness. I'm not kidding. This is what she wrote. And it's frightening to imagine the lengths to which he'll go to strip away rights and freedoms. We need some kind of controversial music behind this. For political gain. The message from this governor and his enablers is loud and clear. If you disagree with him, you will be silenced. So, what's the specifics here? What's the problem with it? Sounds like a lot of rhetoric. Sounds like a lot of talk. Yeah, that's what they've got. Again, there are those in the state legislature who are calling for some interesting things to take place. One representative, Democrat, who described the bill as Hate Bill 1, lamented that the bill makes defacing a memorial such as a Confederate statue a felony while simultaneously shielding quote-unquote violent vigilantes who injure or kill a protester. Violent vigilantes to injure or kill a protester. That's not what the bill says or does at all. And again, I explained about the Confederate statue issue. You don't get to decide that. The mob doesn't get to decide what comes down, what's torn down, what's taken down, what's defaced. You don't get to make those decisions. Quote, there's a power grab happening this legislative session in our state capitol against our right to protest, to vote, to direct local democracy, to organize and demand a more equitable world that does not just serve out of touch elites like Governor Ron DeSantis. And then here's the next line in this story from Florida Politics. Are you ready? Floridians will resist and will hit the streets. Floridians will resist and hit the streets. And there are many examples in this article of how there are Democrats in Tallahassee that are calling for individuals to hit the streets. And not necessarily saying in a peaceful protest. I'm just making the suggestion that HB 1 is something that when you look at it and you understand what the governor is trying to accomplish, you see and you get what the difference is between a peaceful protest and a riot. And we're not going to have rioting in the state. And we're going to stop all of that from happening, unlike other places where they let it run rampant. It's just not going to happen here. But at the same time, we're also starting to see and starting to hear more about, unfortunately, the pushback by some suggesting that if you don't like what's happening, if you don't like the decisions being made at Tallahassee, if you don't like things that are going on, you hit the streets. And let's hope resisting and hitting the streets means peaceful protests and not the opposite. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live at drewsteele.com. That is the website. When we come back, there is a lot of that talk happening, hitting the streets, and what's going to be happening after the Derek Chauvin case, a decision being made. Day 15, closing arguments, the jury instructions, and here we go. What did the judge say yesterday about Maxine Waters hitting the streets in Minnesota on a weekend where the jury was not sequestered? We'll talk about that coming up on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. 92.5 Fox News.
When only the truth will do.
This Fox News business report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
More than 130,000 people signed a petition insisting Amazon accept the cryptocurrency known as Dogecoin. The petition claims the company's alienating many people who don't have a traditional bank account. Dogecoin is named after a meme of a Japanese dog. The CEO of Royal Caribbean says he's optimistic cruise lines will be able to resume operations this summer. The industry's been waylaid for more than 1 year by the pandemic. You'll soon be able to buy an oat milk brand backed by Oprah in the supermarket and on Wall Street. Oatly, which catapulted to stardom with its bizarre Super Bowl ad, filed yesterday for an initial public offering. And the Dow lost 123 points. The Nasdaq fell 137. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report. Invested in you.
Kitchens controlled by your voice. Sneakers that track your steps. AI-powered homes. In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get Allstate's quality insurance at an affordable rate when you bundle your home and auto. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company, and affiliates, North. Illinois.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now. It's a tailgate party on game day. It's a welcome to the neighborhood. It's another anniversary of the start of something good. It's sharing Bluebell ice cream as the evening sun goes down. The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Nothing runs like a... Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment. We've got you covered.
Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. No one is funnier than you. People laugh just thinking about the things you've said. I'm laughing at one of them right now. Coworkers repeat your jokes at the office, but they're never as good as when you tell them, and shame on them for trying. There. Don't you feel better? You'll also feel better knowing you could save when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Although I'm sure you'd have a funnier way to say that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list, and in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection.
License number CCC 1326213.
The Diamond District has the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world. Jason and Todd have partnered with De Beers in Canada and Africa, and they've traveled to Israel, Antwerp, and India to select the most beautiful diamonds. Visit the Diamond District today for your best diamond buying experience.
I'm in the car next to you on the highway, heading to work. I sit in front of you on the bus. I work in the office down the hall and stand next to you in the elevator. We've known each other for years, and I've told you a lot about my life. But of all the things you know about me, here's one you don't. I'm 1 out of every 6 Americans, and I'm struggling with hunger. This isn't an incurable disease. It's not an uncontrollable epidemic. There's enough food in this country to feed every hungry person. This problem is closer than you think. Fortunately, so is the solution. Please, visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for those around you, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Wink News Traffic.
Traffic is getting busy on the Daniels Extension westbound towards Gateway Boulevard. Also delays on Bass Road southbound to Summerlin. If you're heading south, just stick to Winkler Road. It's still fully up to speed, but we are slowing down on Hanson Street east of Ford to Veronica Shoemaker. The average speed is at 14 miles per hour. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Have that umbrella handy before you head out the door, Southwest Florida. We have another round of rain and storms in the forecast today. Now, the storms do have the potential to become strong at times, and right now I'm targeting that opportunity best between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Primary risk will be those gusty, damaging winds, small hail, and even frequent lightning. Now, Wednesday does feature another opportunity for rain and storms, but that severe potential looks to be a lot lower as our atmosphere stabilizes. Otherwise, late this week, we do get a little bit of dry time. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
She's been shopping for months to make sure that when she walks, people are always looking at her feet. Italian, classic, modern, she had to find the perfect look. And when her friends come and visit, their gaze always goes down to admire her floors.
Get your floors noticed. GC Flooring Boutique for indoor and outdoor living. View GC Flooring's extensive stone, mosaic, vinyl, wood, and tile. Your Legno Bastogne Gallery on JNC Boulevard. GCFlooringofNaples.com.
Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it, guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at GoodDealsAppliances.com.
Good Deals Appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for a patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America.
NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. I want to tell you that I'm a rocket scientist. But just because I said it, it doesn't make it true. Your air conditioning tech isn't an air quality expert either. I know what it takes to become one because I've had more than 30 credentials in this industry and over 35 years of training to get to be an air quality expert. It's not easy. If you want to buy whatever junk your air conditioning guy is selling you, I'm sure he'll love that fat commission. But if you want the truth from a real air quality expert with real credentials, call me, Fred Kobe, at 239-482-1542. You'll get the truth and nothing but the truth. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in this business since 1949.
A refreshing swim in your pool shouldn't be interrupted by cloudy water, a broken heater, or faulty equipment. Healthy Pools of Southwest Florida keeps your oasis ready to enjoy every day. Their experts complete a 20-point checklist at each visit, keeping your pool healthy and protecting your investment. Relax knowing your pool is in good hands. Call 239-425-0300 right now and receive your first month free. That's 239-425-0300 or healthypoolsswfl.com. Healthy Pools is a forgotten country company.
Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan with some good news from the factory. We've just been authorized to add all brands to the list of vehicles eligible for our trade-in offer. Yep, literally all brands qualify now. So if your 9-year-old Beamer just hit 100,000 miles, don't cry. Stop paying for expensive repairs and premium gas for that old gas-guzzling luxury brand you're driving. As long as it's a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, bring it to Naples Nissan to get the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new, fuel-efficient Nissan today. Whatever your trade-in was worth when it was brand new, even if you didn't buy it new, regardless of where you bought it from, and regardless of what brand it is, that's what we'll give you for it. Get full details at NaplesNissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
So the image we're looking at on the screen is the image from our onboard navigation camera showing us hovering above the surface of Mars. How incredible! We're going to wait for the Perseverance rover image of us.
We can now say that human beings have flown a rotorcraft on another planet.
Woo! Well, there you go. NASA's little baby helicopter. Did you see that little baby helicopter? I don't know how big it is, but they call it a tiny helicopter. I'm not sure how big. But it made this first flight on Mars yesterday, hovering about 10 feet off the ground there. And it was up there for 39 seconds. The first powered, controlled flight we've ever done on another planet. And that's everybody from NASA. Who, by the way, have you noticed that NASA, when they do these television hits or when they do the launching and everything, it looks very similar to what SpaceX does. It's like the same, because SpaceX came along with the crazy capsule and the inside and the video and the way they did all the graphics and all the people, right? It didn't look anything like NASA used to look. And then NASA's like, hey, that looks good. And then they now they mimic it the same way. Has anybody noticed that, or is it just me? Do you know what I'm saying? Like Nope. No, okay. No, it was always NASA. Maybe this is just me. Maybe I'm totally wrong, and you know about this better than I do. 239-479-5592. You know, back in the day, it was very official. NASA did everything a certain way. You had one shot of like 100 people in the room with the headsets on, and they were all doing everything very technically, and you'd hear somebody talking from control and back and forth, and it was very polished. And then SpaceX started to do all these launches and going up to the International Space Station, and you got all these, to me is all these kids, you know, these young people who are like, this is so sweet. Look at us take it off. And everybody's like, yeah, they do like a play-by-play. And you don't notice that? They do like play-by-play. It's almost like, Jane Johnson and Biff Stunning talking to you live from SpaceX. And it's like, back to you, Biff. Well, I got to tell you, this is quite a flight, isn't it? But they got kids, and then they do the whole launch. You don't know what I'm talking about. It's just a different vibe. And now NASA's doing this. It kind of copied the same vibe of the 239-479-5592. Don't even worry about it. Anyway, there's a helicopter. It's up on Mars. It's bouncing around, and everybody's super excited about it. That's all you need to know. That's it. There's a copter up there. Always amazes me how there's a tiny helicopter right now as we speak that's sitting on Mars, that's hovering over the planet, and somehow we can't get election integrity figured out in this country. We can't figure out how to lock down an election. Anybody with me? If you're watching me at drewsteele.com, can you raise your hand? Unless, of course, you're driving 10 and 2. 10 and 2. Or 9 and 3. Right? I mean, we got a helicopter out there, but somehow Joe Biden was voted into office by 872 million Americans. I don't know how that's possible, how that works. I don't know. Maybe you can ask the former President Trump. He was on with Hannity last night. Did you hear some of what he said on Hannity's program? He brought up the Joe Biden's age. They were talking about how how that may affect him, and I guess he didn't want to comment on his age, right?
So he's going to be 79 years old. That is not old. I know many people in their late 80s that are just as good as they were years ago. I spoke to one who's 92 years old. He said, I feel better than I did 20 years ago. 78, 79 is not old. But he, look, I don't think it's even appropriate for me to comment on that.
Okay, well, he doesn't think it's appropriate to comment, but I will.
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
He knows. He knows. But of course, I mean, look, having said that, remember, the former president was on with Hannity last night, and they were talking about running for 2024 and maybe his thoughts on what's happening with the midterms and the chances there. And I don't know that he necessarily wants to be on record saying that Joe Biden's too old to be president, considering that if he were to run in 2024, he would be close to the age that Joe Biden is right now, right? Isn't that? So I get it. Even talked about the slip up the stairs. Not many people can fall upstairs.
Air Force One is a very big plane, and usually what they try and do is shield the wind. When they park it, you can turn it at angles, and so you don't ever have too much. I've never seen too much wind. You can get a little windy, but not the kind of wind that blows you over.
Well, if you're Joe Biden, the wind can blow you over. Isn't that true?
Not a joke.
It's not a joke. So again, the president being kind there to Joe Biden. Again, for the second time in this break, we can fly a tiny little baby helicopter up on Mars, but we can't figure out a way to shield the wind from a president who's going up the stairs and falls not once, not twice, but 3 times. It's not a joke.
Not a joke.
I know, it's not a joke. So we have that. What else did he say? It talked a little bit about the midterms, right?
You're going to see something that will start to take place in 22 and will culminate in 24, and you're going to see a lot of big things and great things for the Republican Party and for the country.
I think he's right. And I think a lot of people feel that way as well, that listen, there are some things that are starting to unfold now that we can all see and point to specifically and say, told you so, maybe even concerns that we had before about 2020 election integrity issues, the narrative that Democrats pushed against the president on January 6th, this quote unquote insurrection that we're coming to find out more and more really wasn't an insurrection, and the narrative that's been put out there and the fencing along all of Washington, D.C. and National Guard troops and trying to make it seem as if there's something there that really isn't, the threat that's there every day that really doesn't seem to be, as we find out now after yesterday, some pretty big news that we find out about the case of Officer Brian Sicknick and his death, and how we were told over and over and over again that Brian Sicknick's death was one of these horrible, horrific situations where the Trump supporters bludgeoned him to death. Oh, I'm not kidding. That word was used. In other words, remember about Brian Sicknick's death and how it was a fire extinguisher and it was horrible and it was awful. It was the violence, the rage, the kind of thing that the media was describing. You can see it in this one individual. It was a horrific situation.
Officer Brian Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher during the hours-long attack.
They beat a Capitol Police officer to death with a fire extinguisher.
Officer Brian Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher during the fight.
He died at the age of 42 after he was bludgeoned with a fire extinguisher.
What if that didn't go down that way? What if Brian Sicknick actually died of natural causes? What if that narrative was put out there by the left, by the media, by Democrats, all the same, in order to damage a former president of the United States, supporters of the president of the United States, and they knew it all along and ran with it anyway. And even an impeachment was brought up with that sole discussion, or at least one of the parts of the discussion of impeachment as its core. And then we come to find out that that's not what happened. Well, guess what, everybody?
Breaking news.
A bombshell. Maybe not a bombshell, but yeah, guess what? It turns out that Officer Brian Sicknick's death was natural causes. As Glenn Greenwald writes in Substack, just as with the Russian bounty debacle, they will never acknowledge what they did. Their audience wants to be lied to for partisan gain and emotional pleasure. The left in this country, Democrats, want to be lied to continuously. They want it because they want to be fed those lies, because they desperately want to believe the narrative. It was crucial for liberal sectors of the media to invent and disseminate a harrowing lie about Officer Brian Sicknick and how he died. It's because he's the only one they could claim was killed by pro-Trump protesters at the January 6th quote-unquote riot at the Capitol. New York Times ran with it. January 8th, an emotional, gut-wrenching, but complete fiction that never had any evidence that Officer Sicknick's skull was savagely bashed in with a fire extinguisher by a pro-Trump mob until he died. And just like the now discredited Russian bounty story, which we remember just from last week, also unveiled by the same newspaper, cable outlets and other media platforms repeated this lie over and over in the most emotionally manipulative way possible. And you just heard how that was done. While examining the story as Glenn Greenwald did, so many reasons to doubt the storyline from the start. Nobody on the record claimed that it happened that way. The autopsy found no blunt trauma to the head. Sicknick's own family kept urging the press to stop spreading the story because he called them the night of January 6th and told him he was fine. Can I repeat that? He called them January 6th to say he was fine. It was a few days later that we come to find out that he had a stroke. But they ran with the story anyway. To continue this narrative, Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who engaged rioters, suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes. The Washington Post headline says. A portion of that is the truth. 2 strokes, died of natural causes. Not while engaging protesters, but after the fact. So, again, here we are with a media that runs with just outright lies and distortions to an audience that buys it, that loves it, that laps it up, that wants it to continue. And you have to ask yourself why. And so when certain protections are looked at and want to take place, let's say in the state of Florida with HB1, an anti-rioting bill. We don't want rioting in the streets. You want to protest peacefully? Everybody is about that. Everybody understands what that looks like. Everybody understands what a riot looks like, what it is. You can't just indiscriminately describe that you don't like that statue or that monument and tear it down. Well, it's a Confederate monument. Yeah, but you don't get to decide that. The mob doesn't rule. The mob doesn't rule in the state of Florida. And there are other things that have to do with this bill, HB1. And then you have the left Democrats on the side that are just claiming it's racist. That's all it's unconstitutional and racist. And how dare you do this? And we're going to take to the streets because we don't like this. And we're going to encourage people to take to the streets. To do what? I hope peacefully protest over something that is described as an anti-riot bill. But we would like to see you peacefully protest anytime you want. It's your constitutional right. That's what you're asking for, right? Nothing more than that. But do you see why there have to be protections? Because not only are there individuals in this country that somehow, some way can't discern the difference between what is the truth and the facts.
We choose truth over facts.
Well, you know what I'm saying. That can't, for some reason, separate themselves from the politics, even when it comes to how we teach our kids about certain things like critical race theory. And by the way, there's a huge story about that. Joe Biden moving forward This is not good news, everybody. The Biden administration is ready to go. Biden is set to push critical race theory on U.S. schools. A story at a National Review. But getting back to what I was saying before, that there are people in the media on the left that will continue to lie to you, that will continue to put it in print, to put it on the air, continue to push this narrative. Why? Why? Because they're selling something that a group is buying? They're pushing a narrative to change the course of the country and to change the narrative and to try to gaslight and continue to do this, believing that at the end of the day, they are going to get what they want. And I'm here to tell you that there are more than a few people in this country that are not just going to sit back and take it in a lot of different ways, including teaching our kids about critical race theory in U.S. schools. We're going to talk about that coming up as well. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. Please go there to watch. We appreciate it. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Rush Limbaugh.
18-year-old student at Cape Elizabeth High in Portland, Maine, just won a free speech case. She admitted that she wrote a message and stuck it on a school bathroom mirror. The message, there's a rapist in our school, and you know who it is. Well, people didn't know who it was. The school rumor mill went into overdrive as school administrators conducted dozens of interviews to get to the bottom of it. One boy whose name came up in the rumor mill stayed home for 8 days out of fear for his safety. Nothing was ever proven about the identity of the alleged rapist or if there even was a rapist. School administrators suspended this 15-year-old who started all of this for 3 days. She went to court to block the suspension, claiming she was just raising awareness about sexual assault, lying and making it up like journalists do. Last week, a U.S. District Court judge granted her temporary restraining order. He said that if the matter is litigated, she'll probably win. The judge said that he understands the school administrator's perspective, but they don't have carte blanche to tap down the students' concerns about social justice. So you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, but you can yell rape in a crowded school. You can put it on a mirror. As for those wrongly accused or smeared, too bad. No social justice for them. Besides, they're guys. They're guilty anyway, right?
Guest host alumni Buck Sexton here, recognizing this great audience relationship and speaking on behalf of the Oxford Gold Group. It's the company I've come to trust for real gold and silver. Did you know that can still be delivered to your door or placed directly in your IRA or 401k, tax-free and penalty-free? That's right, real gold and silver in your hands or your retirement accounts. Why should you own real gold and silver? Because they both hold their value, especially when markets decline or fail. Oxford Gold Group is the industry leader in precious metals, offering gold and silver at the lowest prices on the market. The Oxford Gold Group will beat any competitor's price on gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-404-GOLD and request your free precious metals investment guide. Call 833-404-GOLD. They'll send you their precious metals investment guide. Call them right now, 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Hey, it's Drew Steele visiting with my friend TJ, owner of the Floormeisters in Naples, where if you're talking Cortec, you're talking Floormeisters. And the one thing that I love, TJ, is when we're talking about pricing, you got to be straight up with the pricing, right?
Yep, we buy more Cortec every day so we can sell it to you cheaper. I buy it by the pallet, by the truckload, so you're making sure you always get the lowest price possible. We keep it here in our 15,000 square foot store. Big selection, big, beautiful showroom to make sure your wife gets exactly what you want, Drew.
Yeah, and how about me? I like to get what I want as well. And also, of course, the color selection, right? You got some new ones.
Got 100 colors right now, and we're adding about 10 to 15 from Cortec that just came out for 2021.
So you want to see it for yourself? Go to the Floormeisters. You're going to really love it. 6281 Naples Boulevard next to Costco. Give them a call, 239-596-4964, or on the web at floormeisters.com.
These grapes are great. Hey, grocery guy, are these fresh?
You should know. You've eaten enough of them.
I always sample the grapes.
You've practically eaten a whole bag, sir.
So what are you going to do about it, grocery guy?
Watch your head while getting in the squad car, sir.
Well, officer, I thought the grapes were free.
At Rock Solid, your sink is free, along with free bathroom countertop materials. Just pay for installation when you get kitchen countertops.
Grapes aren't free, but bathroom countertop materials are at Rock Solid.
JNC Boulevard, Naples, rocksolidnaples.com or 596-7676. Rock Solid, where you always get more.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Unless you want more of your hard-earned dollars going to the government, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Now, the president's tax cuts, they may be on the way out, and it's not just your income taxes that could go up. That's why you should call my friend Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group. Call now, 239-747-1163.
Investment advisory services offered through Townsend Advisory Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor in Florida.
Why wait for so-called one-time refund relief from big insurance companies when you can get the best prices and coverages all day, every day, all year round from Chapman Insurance Group? Hi, this is Brian Chapman, and my team is committed to finding you the most efficient coverage at the best rates. Give us an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. I'm confident we can save you money for the same or better coverage. Visit CIGFlorida.com or call an office near you today. Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda. CIGFlorida.com.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for a patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America. NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
No matter what it's like outside, Trane makes it comfortable inside. You can get a great deal now on a new heating and cooling system at Trane. Visit TraneInfo.com. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local dealer and more, because it's hard to stop a train.
Plantation Shutters for You is your best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Call today for a free consultation. Discount to military, first responders, and Biden voters who wish they voted for Trump now, as well as Trump voters. PlantationShuttersForYou.com.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News. This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Behind closed doors. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The 12 men and women deciding former Minneapolis police officer Eric Chauvin's case are now sequestered until they reach a verdict.
Chauvin has pleaded not guilty to murder and manslaughter charges he faces in last year's death of George Floyd. Meanwhile, calls for justice outside the courthouse are only growing.
We must demand to change the system.
Government officials in Minnesota acknowledge more work needs to be done to address racism, but regardless of the jury's decision, violence, looting, and destruction will not be tolerated.
Fox's Kevin Cork. Former President Trump says he's beyond seriously considering running again in 2024, but tells Fox's Sean Hannity he doesn't really want to talk about it. He says Republicans can take back Congress in next year's elections if candidates stick with his agenda.
The Republicans have to unify. Democrats.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is getting busy on Daniels Parkway, but we are not at a standstill. If you're heading to the interstate, now's a great time to do that. I-75 is up to speed heading to and from Charlotte and Collier County. Now, if you are in North Fort Myers, there's a delay southbound on 31 starting from North River Road, as well as a slowdown northbound on 41 starting from Diplomat. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Have that umbrella handy before you head out the door, Southwest Florida. We have another round of rain and storms in the forecast today. Now, the storms do have the potential to become strong at times, and right now I'm targeting that opportunity best between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Primary risks will be those gusty, damaging winds, small hail, and even frequent lightning. Now, Wednesday does feature another opportunity for rain and storms, but that severe potential looks to be a lot lower as our atmosphere stabilizes. Otherwise, late this week, we do get a little bit of dry time. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment. We've got you covered.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime. Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Attention Lee County residents. Lee County Solid Waste and Lee County Parks and Rec will have a household chemical waste collection at the Estero Recreation Center Wednesday, April 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Safely dispose of any old paints, pool chemicals, oils, fluorescent bulbs, or automotive fluids hanging around your garage. The convenient drive-through drop-off at Estero Rec Center is this Wednesday. No need to get out of your car. There is no charge, and no business waste is accepted. For more information, call Lee County Solid Waste at 239-533-8000.
Who said there's no such thing as the perfect payment? There is, when you get to pick it. For 4 days only, Thursday through Sunday. It's the Perfect Pick sales event at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, Florida's #1 Nissan dealer. Choose from Florida's biggest selection of new Nissans. Then you pick the payment that's perfect for you. Drive the new 2021 Nissan Sentra. You pick the payment, just $119 a month, or drive 2 for under $400. Or pay $0 down and drive away for just $219 a month. It's up to you. Get similar $0 down offers on our entire new Nissan lineup. The perfect payment is in your hands. Plus, our in-store basketball hoop is set up. Make a half-court shot and you win. Rip up the contract because your car is on the house. The Perfect Pick sales event ends Sunday. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car mega store. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details. With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Jason and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. The talk and text line streaming live. It's right there on drewsteele.com, the website. We always appreciate you watching. Steele has 3 E's. You can go there. I'm still on Facebook, by the way, if you want to go. Yeah, whatever. At Drew Steele Radio. That's fine. No worries there. A lot to dig into today. Joe Biden is set to push critical race theory on U.S. schools. No, nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Listen, it's not like anything is going to happen here locally. School districts in Lee or Collier County, Charlotte, Glades, Hendry. Nothing to worry about. Everything is absolutely fine. We're not going to have critical race theory in our schools. It's just not going to be that. This is serious, everybody. The woke revolution in the classroom is about to go federal. From the National Review, in an early but revelatory move, President Biden's Department of Education has signaled its intent to impose the most radical forms of critical race theory on America's schools, very much including the 1619 Project and the so-called anti-racism of Ibram X. Kendi. Kendi's anti-racism, which advocates a massive and indefinite expansion of reverse discrimination, is more like neo-racism. Biden is obviously co-opting conservatives' interest in reviving traditional U.S. history and civics to deliver its perfect opposite, federal imposition of the very ideas conservatives aim to combat. There's more to this, but again, please don't tell us that Joe Biden is lunch bucket Joe. He's a moderate. It's a great thing that 872 million people voted for him. Don't do it. Don't do it. He's not. He's never been. And look, this is going to be the push. Understand that it is more important now than ever to have school board members that are in your district, wherever you live, that understand this is bad, that understand that this is not a good thing for our kids, to teach the 1619 Project and this idea that we're going to have these quote-unquote anti-racism classes that are just like National Review and Stanley Kurtz talking about is actually more like a massive and indefinite expansion of reverse discrimination, like neo-racism. This is all not a good thing. If you do not have people who are willing to push back and are willing to make sure that it doesn't happen in a town, in a district near you, then all bets are off. Then all bets are off. And the best thing about this is that your voice matters. Clearly here locally, your voice matters with the discussion about code of conduct in Equality Florida and the district and what they did in trying to pass this without you having your say, doing it during a pandemic when you've got nothing but Zoom meetings that only a couple of people had a chance to watch because you're busy, because you're being told it's a pandemic and you need to be locked down. Interestingly enough, quite the interesting time to do this. And you're not having it anymore. And you're done with this. And again, it goes back to something we talked about last week and focusing on, and it's this. Please don't think you do not have a say anymore. Please do not think that after the 2020 election and election integrity and the idea that we can fly a helicopter on Mars right now, but somehow we can't lock down election integrity in this country, which is mind-boggling, which leads you to believe that the technology is there. But if you have human beings who are willing to do things quite the opposite of what the technology would do to keep it secure, then all bets are off. Do you see what I'm saying? That there are some people who want to make that happen. I mean, again, common sense. We all know that. Unless, of course, you have the left in this country that is trying to convince you that you're all crazy. It's crazy talk, I tell you. It's crazy. Anyway. You do have a say. You can make a difference. And how local elections mean so much. In just a little while from now, Bob Rommel's going to join us. Representative Rommel from Tallahassee. We're going to talk about HB1. We're going to talk about some of the bills that are being passed in Tallahassee that will have an effect on you each and every day moving into the future right here in Southwest Florida. It's important that you hear this because there are a lot of national headlines that we're going to touch on, and they're important. But never forget the micro here as opposed to the macro. I know I constantly bring micro and macro up a lot because I like that. Because it's important what's going on here. And again, your voice is being heard. You can do something. And these are important changes to make and be aware of what's going on in our school boards across Southwest Florida. Biden's Department of Education just released the text of a proposed new rule establishing priorities for grants in American history and civics education programs. That rule gives priority to grant, quote, projects that incorporate racially, ethnically, culturally, and linguistically diverse perspectives. The rule goes on to cite and praise the New York Times landmark, quote unquote, 1619 Project, as well as the work of critical race theorist Kendi as leading examples of the sort of ideas the Biden administration wants to spread. Don't tell us that Joe Biden is some moderate. Programs immediately targeted by Biden's new priority criteria for American history and civics grants are small. Once in place, however, those criteria will undoubtedly influence the much larger and vastly more dangerous, quote, civics Secures Democracy Act. Civics Secures Democracy Act. That bill would appropriate $1 billion a year for 6 years for history and civic education. Support for leftist, quote, action civics is already written into the priority criteria of the bill itself. Stanley Kurtz argued that additional adenine-sounding priority criteria in the Civics Secures Democracy Act, criteria favoring grants targeting to, quote, unquote, underserved populations and the mitigation of various racial, ethnic, and linguistic achievement gaps, would be interpreted by the Biden administration as a green light to fund critical race theory in the schools. The new draft federal rule for grant priority in American history and civics education makes it clear that this is indeed the intent of the administration. Something to keep an eye on. And how critical race theory from K through 12, that states are going to have to bar this. They're going to have to adopt laws barring both action civics and critical race theory from K through 12 education. With the federal juggernaut bearing down, what choice do states have but to defend themselves? Stanley Kurtz in the National Review. We're going to have to do something at a state level. We're going to have to push back against this. And I just wanted you to be aware of that as we move forward through the week with a lot of other things that are going to be discussed, not the least of which is going to be how safe we're going to be on our streets coming up very soon, and the concerns of that across the country as talk of the Derek Chauvin decision, the trial in the George Floyd, Derek Chauvin case will just be decided shortly. The jury has it. And what is going to happen next? What are we looking at? And where HB 1 is going to push back in this state that was signed by the governor yesterday, as the governor talked about this, pushing back against what possibly will be happening after this decision. The worry of many people about rioting on our streets and looting and the kind of thing that is not peaceful protests.
We saw really unprecedented disorder and rioting throughout the summer of 2020, and we said that's not going to happen here in the state of Florida. And we wanted to make sure that we were able to protect the people of our great state, people's businesses and property against any type of mob activity or violent assemblies.
And you all know the difference. It's amazing how, politically speaking, and how polarized we are. Because something that should be so simple and so basic as what the difference is between a riot, looting, destruction of property, and peaceful protests can't be discerned somehow. Somehow we can't tell the difference. Really, we can't tell the difference? Like, you on the left, you do not have an idea of the difference? Of course you do. Of course you do. But for some reason, the left loves mob rule. The left loves this notion that we will get what we want with or without you. And what are you going to do about it? And it's rare that you have a governor or somebody in authority who's willing to push back and say, no, we're not going to accept that. We're not going to have you tell us it's a peaceful protest while you're burning a building or pulling down a statue or monument. If you want to have a discussion in the community about what that is or is not, it's a Confederate monument. We want to take it. Okay, well, we'll talk about it. We'll figure out as a community whether or not we're going to keep it up or not, or what we're going to do with it. You don't get the decision by tearing it down, defacing it, and then saying, okay, decision made. No, it's not. No, it's not. And so good for the governor for doing this and recognizing this and pushing back, just like Stanley Kurtz was talking about in National Review about Joe Biden set to push critical race theory on U.S. schools. No, you don't. You're not going to get the opportunity to let this run roughshod over our schools and our districts and into our kids' thinking and to teachers that are or at least teachers' unions and districts that are saying, we don't have curriculum like this. We're not teaching critical race theory. Oh, no, we totally agree with you. But in the meantime, the books that they're using and the way that they're teaching in the school is clearly one-sided. Do you see the difference? Do you see what's happening? Can't tell you how many people I talk to that recognize this. And by the way, Jake, we're going to take a break and then we'll come back from break right now. And it's this. I cannot tell you how many people in education tell me there may not be a specific anything that is specifically being taught, any curriculum that's being taught by a teacher, let's say, that goes over and describes the 1619 project or critical race theory overtly. It's out there in the open. This is what they're doing. But what they are doing is they're taking their politics in the way that they teach the kids, in the way that they are describing things to kids, in the way that they're using textbooks, and the types of textbooks that they're using. They don't have to have a curriculum. All they have to do is insinuate or give the impression or teach with that in the back of their mind that ultimately the curriculum doesn't have to be there, but the thought process and the style of teaching and the direction that they're going is pretty evident. All right, 239-479-5592. DrewSteele.com is the website. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Chauvin case and what the judge said yesterday. And I want you to hear the audio about the possibility that it could be overturned on appeal. Why would the judge say that? All right, we'll have that coming up. Stay break, 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic here, Sabrina Katz.
A hit-and-run crash at Alico on Oriole Road is not delaying traffic as of right now, but as you're passing through, use lots of extra caution. Southbound delays continue on Ben Hill towards Corkscrew. No major backups on Corkscrew, believe it or not. East and west getting onto the interstate. Bonita commuters, we look great on Bonita Beach Road as well as Old 41. However, slowing traffic on Livingston, heading south of East Terry. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
We have another potential for strong to severe storms on your Tuesday. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. looks to be the best time frame for now. Primary risk will include gusty wind, even some small hail, and frequent lightning in any of those storms. If you need to track them live with us, download that free Wink weather app so you can dodge the rain. Otherwise, we do get a little bit of dry time as we head through Thursday and Friday. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I am mad at everything going on.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Hey, this is Papa reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles. They're obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list. And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection.
License number CCC 1326213.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Imagine you're on your way to work, and then, bam, your whole life changes. You're injured, and now you have to fight for justice. Your opponent is not the driver of the car that hit you. It's their insurance company. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The real estate market is really hot right now, but for how long? I'm Anthony Gomes from GomesBuysHomes.com. You've heard Drew Steele talk about me on his show. If you're thinking about selling, now is the time. You can get a full market value offer on your home as fast as 24 hours without you having to do repairs, and you pick the closing date. Book your free, no pressure, no obligation consultation now at GomesBuysHomes.com. That's GomesBuysHomes.com.
We invite you to visit United Fidelity Bank Banking Center located at 14241 Metro Parkway in Fort Myers and let us help you save it, grow it, and enjoy it with our market-leading 12-month CD earning 0.55% APY. Shop and compare rates and then invest with United Fidelity Bank's 12-month CD that earns 0.55% APY. The difference is United Fidelity Bank. A penalty may be imposed for early withdrawal. Annual percentage yield current as of 3/17/2021. This minimum deposit of $1,000 required to open CD. 12-month CD renews automatically.
Plantation Shutters for You is your best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Call today for a free consultation. Discount to military, first responders, and Biden voters who wish they voted for Trump now, as well as Trump voters. PlantationShuttersForYou.com.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Some political news. A new poll shows Matthew McConaughey is leading Governor Greg Abbott by 12 points in a hypothetical matchup for governor of Texas. When asked if he's actually going to run for office, McConaughey said, I might. That's right. McConaughey is leading the polls between that and 420. This is the best week of his life, maybe.
Is it? It's 420. Yeah, whatever. 239-479-5592. Jake the Millennial. You want to explain to everybody 420 in case they don't know what 420 is? Do we want to even go there?
It's Hitler's birthday.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It is? That's not what 420 is about.
It's Earth Day.
No, it's not about Earth Day either. Isn't it marijuana related?
Cannabis.
That? It's like a day to, it's like everybody smokes marijuana day, something. I hate to sound so uninformed about 420.
I don't think everyone does.
Well, of course not everyone does.
Well, you said everyone.
Well, I don't mean I mean everyone that feels like it's 239-479-5592. Look, it doesn't matter. Forget the 420 thing. I was just listening to, that was Jimmy Fallon talking about Matthew McConaughey leading a poll there for governor of Texas. I just want to remind Texans that Matthew McConaughey, just in case you were wondering if a lot of people are like, well, Matthew McConaughey makes a lot of sense. He makes great movies. I kind of like when he does those little things on Twitter and or Parler. I don't even know if he's on Parler, but Twitter, and he puts out these little memes, and he sort of makes sense. It's like he's almost like the true libertarian, common sense. Hey, can I remember something? If you don't mind, we go back a little ways. Can I remind everybody of this moment in time?
Now, again, as stated in the March for Our Lives mission statement, how do we do this? They've got 3 hallmarks here. 1, let's ban the assault weapons for civilians.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that was Matthew McConaughey. Remember March for Our Lives, who was up there telling everybody we got to ban assault weapons for civilians, assault weapons. Of course, with March for Our Lives, and again, another one of those individuals who maybe can't explain specifically what an assault weapon is, but we got to ban it because it's the guns, it's not the people. But again, yeah, it's those kind of things that don't worry me. I mean, but there is something to be said, and I might even ask Jake the Millennial really fast, because I'm willing to bet I know the answer to this if I were to ask his friends. I'm not talking about you, because you listen to this program, you're here every day, you are coherent in thought. On what? I'm sorry. Did I say that? I didn't mean that. I meant that you're here every day. Your friends.
I don't have friends, but
yes, you do. Don't say that. You think your friend?
If I have a friend, call it right now.
If you had a friend,
if you're a friend of mine and you're listening, call in.
They're not listening
because I don't have friends.
Well, no, you do. You do have friends. The point is your friends are not listening right now. Don't be hard on yourself like that. All right. Let's pretend. Let's imagine for a second you have friends. Okay, it's just imaginary. All right, you've got imaginary friends. I wonder how many of your friends would vote for a movie star or somebody popular, somebody well known, celebrity in some way. Maybe not even asking anything about where they stand necessarily politically, like The Rock or Matthew McConaughey. A lot of your friends, do you think they would do that? They would just flat out, I'm
I
voting.
mean, well, to be fair, technically Donald Trump was a celebrity and he got elected in office, so.
Yeah, but we knew a lot. We found out a lot about his politics, and we learned a lot about him. And as we learned about him, we started to realize what his political values were, and in that way, it was something that made a difference. I'm wondering how many people are out there that would just vote for Matthew McConaughey or just vote or say they're going to vote for The Rock right now and would be like, yeah, I'll vote for this guy before they find out.
Probably a few.
Yeah, that's all. Right, so those polls are just silly. 12 points ahead of the governor. Okay, well, they don't even know anything about Matthew McConaughey except all right, and all that kind of. They don't know anything specifically about who he is or what he's about. So that kind of, and the whole thing about polling makes me crazy anyway right now. Can you really have a poll, an honest poll right now after what we've seen from the media and the lies and all this? Okay. All right, coming up, the Derek Chauvin case, what the judge said, something that, was pretty powerful yesterday as the case goes to the jury. Representative Bob Rommel in Tallahassee is going to join us in a few more minutes to talk about some of the bills there.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Psst. I'm about to say a dirty word. A really dirty word. Cover your kids' ears. Ready? Plumber. Hi, I'm Rob Hill of Bob Hill Plumbing. I'm not sure why plumber is a dirty word. I like to think of myself as a respectful, clean, and honest plumber. In fact, I'm proud to say that Bob Hill Plumbing is one of the oldest businesses in Naples. My dad founded Bob Hill Plumbing in 1952. I instilled the same tradition and values as he had back in the 50s. I dare you to find that in the chuck in a truck world. Everyone has an AC guy or an electrical guy, but a plumber? If you need plumbing services, I invite you to call me today, and I'll prove to you that we've cleaned up the word plumber. See, even the radio guy stopped beeping me out. Bob Hill Plumbing. Let me be your plumbing guy.
To schedule service, call Bob Hill Plumbing at 262-6119 or go to bobhillplumbing.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. We'll get it done right and get it done safely. Call now for $77 off any repair.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Limitations and restrictions may apply. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Most teens who drink alcohol get it from family and friends, but providing alcohol to teens is unsafe, illegal, and irresponsible. Find out more. Visit don'tserveteens.gov. That's don'tserveteens.gov. A message from the Federal Trade Commission and this station.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. It's first full day of deliberations for the jury in the trial of Derek Chauvin, accused of murdering George Floyd. Meanwhile, comments from California Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters prompting this warning from the judge in the trial who told the defense,
Well, I'll give you that Congresswoman Waters may have given you something on appeal that may result in this whole trial being overturned.
She had urged protesters to get more confrontational if they don't get a guilty verdict. And former Vice President Walter Mondale has died at 93.
In reacting to the news of his vice president's death, former President Jimmy Carter said, Fritz Mondale provided us all with a model for public service and private behavior. Carter had chosen then-Senator Mondale to help him in his run against former President Ford.
Fox's Jill Nato. America's listening to Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
A hit-and-run crash at Alico and Oriole Road is not delaying traffic as of right now, but as you're passing through, use lots of extra caution. Southbound delays continue on Ben Hill towards Corkscrew. No major backups on Corkscrew, believe it or not. East and west getting onto the interstate. Bonita commuters, we look great on Bonita Beach Road as well as Old 41. However, slowing traffic on Livingston, heading south of East Terry. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Have that umbrella handy before you head out the door, Southwest Florida. We have another round of rain and storms in the forecast today. Now, the storms do have the potential to become strong at times, and right now I'm targeting that opportunity best between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Primary risk will be those gusty, damaging winds, small hail, and even frequent lightning. Now, Wednesday does feature another opportunity for rain and storms, but that severe potential looks to be a lot lower as our atmosphere stabilizes. Otherwise, late this week, we do get a little bit of dry time. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
I won't give up the ship.
Talking about what matters.
This country is too great to throw over to communism. I love it.
92.5 Fox News.
92.5 Fox News proudly presents The Plot Against the President, showing at the Silver Spot Theater at Mercado in Naples, Thursday, April 29th. Featuring live and in person, California Congressman Devin Nunes, Kash Patel, Jack Langer, and producer Amanda Milius. The Plot Against the President is presented by Alfie Townshend and Advantage Retirement Group, PlantationShuttersForYou.com. Keep listening to 92.5 Fox News for details.
Attention Lee County residents. Lee County Solid Waste and Lee County Parks and Rec will have a household chemical waste collection at the Estero Recreation Center Wednesday, April 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Safely dispose of any old paints, pool chemicals, oils, fluorescent bulbs, or automotive fluids hanging around your garage. The convenient drive-through drop-off at Estero Rec Center is this Wednesday. No need to get out of your car. There is no charge, and no business waste is accepted. For more information, call Lee County Solid Waste at 239-533-8000.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Dan Martineau from D.R. Martineau Roofing. Storm season is approaching. Avoid complications with your insurance company. Sign up for our free pre-season and post-season roof assessment plan. Just Google DRM Roofing.
License number CCC 1326954.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
When the expected comes calling, bounce forward with Comcast Business, the network that can divide gig speeds to the most businesses. And bounce forward with the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next. Go to ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
It's a hot afternoon, and you're listening to the news. And now you're hot under the collar, too. I'm Matt from Island Air. When you choose an AC contractor, you're entrusting that company with the air that you and your family breathe. A healthy unit means a healthier household. Island Air has a long history in Southwest Florida and hundreds of customer reviews that you can see on our website at islandairfl.com, where you will see the Island Air difference. Want to try us out? Our $99 System Saver one-time maintenance is guaranteed. If your AC breaks within 6 months of the maintenance, we will credit the payment towards any repair. Island Air also offers free second opinions. Let us review your quote for any service, replacement, or repair for your peace of mind.
IslandAirFL.com. That's IslandAirefL.com. IslandAirefL.com or call 239-645-4668. That's 239-645-4668. License number CAC 057544.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Jason and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
I want to make sure everybody knows this is a peaceful protest. We encourage it. It's the foundation of our country, and we want people to peacefully protest when they feel the need. This is a riot, and this will get you locked up before quick in the state of Florida. Pay attention. We've got new law.
Pay attention. We got a new law. That's Sheriff Grady Judd, who was with the governor yesterday and others on the heels of the governor's signing into law what is HB1, the anti-rioting legislation. It depends on who you ask what it is. You know, we have News Service of Florida who, for some reason, wanted to put the headline out that it was a protest law, that it was how did they describe it? I'm trying to see where I can't find it now. But the way they described it was nothing like what it is, trying to make it sound like it's the governor and many others are just against a peaceful protest. That's what it is. Is that really what it was all about? Well, let's talk about more things that are happening. Not only that, but other situations or issues, I shouldn't say situations, but issues that are happening that are being debated, discussed, and possibly signed into law in Tallahassee with Representative Bob Rommel, who's joining us right now on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Drew, and another great day to be living in the great state of Florida.
Yeah, after the governor signing this, I can only imagine some of the pushback. Talk a little bit about your thoughts on HB1 and what you've heard out of Tallahassee about this.
Well, Drew, when the bill was being debated on the floor of the House, we had 6 hours of questions and debate. And most of the questions came from, we'll say, the radical left, because everything has now become political and radical. And they called the bill that will discriminate against black and brown people from peacefully protesting. And I read the bill multiple times, and there was nowhere in the bill that it said anybody, never mind black or brown people, could not protest.
Right. And just in case people are wondering, Florida Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried was with a bunch of other individuals there on the Capitol steps. The law, they contend, endangers Floridians. They called it the Hate Bill 1. And I want to read to you exactly what she said. Certainly somebody who wants to be the next governor of the state of Florida. Let's not pretend anything otherwise. That's what Nikki Fried is angling for. But I'm going to read this to you, her comments, her following the statement about HB1, and you will see exactly what Representative Rommel is talking about, that they can't even describe specifics. So listen to this. Here you go. She says, quote, "This isn't a game. This governor and his Republican allies love to talk about the Constitution while shredding it with extreme legislation like HB1. Silencing the speech of those seeking equality is straight from the communist regime playbook." She should know. "The criminal aspects of this bill are already illegal. HB1 protects no one, makes no one safer, and does nothing to make people's lives better. It's simply to appease the governor's delusion of widespread lawlessness, and it's frightening to imagine the lengths to which he'll go to strip away rights and freedoms for political gain. The message from this governor and his enablers is loud and clear. If you disagree with him, you will be silenced." I'm sorry.
You know, obviously, we know what she wants, and I want to talk about a bill that her agency was pushing or trying to change also. Between her, the media around the nation, it's all about trying to destroy Ron DeSantis. Yep. Ron DeSantis is a threat to the left. Florida is a threat to the left. Our state is thriving. People are open. People are allowed to go to work. People are allowed to make decisions for themselves, what they feel is best. And the media, all they're doing is trying to destroy Ron DeSantis. You know, we saw it on 60 Minutes. We saw it on other things related to COVID. And now, you know, our own agriculture commission in a pandemic, or maybe we're not in a pandemic, you know, whatever we're in, still tries to undermine the governor and everything that he does. And this bill does one thing simple. It's combating public disorder. And coming up to this trial of George Floyd, if we remember, many years ago with Rodney King after that trial, that poor man, Reginald Denny, who was in his truck trying to earn a living, and the rioters and protesters pulled him out of that truck and beat him almost to death. In this bill, if that happens to you, you can use any means possible to get yourself safe, and that includes running over the people trying to smash in your head.
Yeah, well, there's, and again, as I read the statement from Nikki Fried, the agriculture commissioner, clearly in that statement, nothing descriptive in this statement describes what she's talking about. It's all rhetoric. It's all anything that they can talk about against the governor, but nothing to the specifics of what this actually does and how important it is for a lot of different things. It's defunding the police, the concerns that people have about that, and the safety and security of not just the Florida citizens, but others that come to visit the state of Florida. Let's not forget that. You talk about what is important in this. And again, I want you to bring up what you were mentioning with 991 and Nikki Fried. But the important thing about this is that there are those that understand what a peaceful protest looks like Grady Judd was talking about, Sheriff, and what isn't, and what is a riot, what is looting, and we're just not going to have that in the state, and it drives people crazy. Look, if it's unconstitutional, challenge it. If it's something that's racist, show us where it is, point that out. But the talk and the rhetoric from the left is got to stop. But talk a little bit about what you were just mentioning. You said something about Bill and Nikki Fried and a connection. What about this? Explain.
So Bill 991 is a bill regarding those skimmers that are put on gas station credit card machines.
Yeah, she would know about that. Her face is just on every one.
Well, it was. I think we made her take them down.
Yeah, but, that's true. All right. In all fairness, it's not there anymore.
So there is an issue out there. We have these bad actors, criminals, that consistently go and put these skimmers on machines to steal people's credit card information. And, we have her agency is in charge of gas stations, basically. And that's who regulates them. And but we have rules where gas stations have to make a good faith effort to keep them off and have protection devices to slow them down. But the bad actors continue to come. They continue to come. And so in this bill, talking about, protection for skimmers, her agency wanted to put these huge fines on gas stations that were making good effort, but they couldn't keep up with the criminals. $5,000 fines per incident. And so that bill had to come to my committee first. And I said, why are we trying to hurt the business owner that's doing the best that he can to protect his property and the individual's, credit card information? And her agency kept coming back, but they don't. We'll go to a gas station, and a month later, the skimmer will be back on. I said, well, what are you doing about the criminal? Your bill, the way you're trying to have this bill, it'd be like putting the guy who owns the bank in jail if his bank was robbed. And, it turns out a lot of gas stations in Florida are owned by a man named Max Alvarez. Do you know who Max Alvarez is?
No, I have no idea.
You don't know who Max Alvarez is? He actually spoke at one of Donald Trump's events. He's a Cuban American that happens to own.
Oh, that Max. Okay, yes, that Max Alvarez. Yeah. Okay, yes.
So,
made an impassioned statement there during the 2020 election.
Yeah. It made me cry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Okay.
So there's a connection here. So Max Alvarez is a big supporter of Donald Trump, a big supporter of Ron DeSantis. Also, Nikki Fried is part of the Green New Deal. So if we put gas stations out of business, and if we put people like Max Alvarez out of business, it would hurt the party, it would hurt individuals, and it would help her with her Green New Deal. So there was a political movement there, but you know what? I stopped it. I said, that's not getting in the bill. If you're going to do something, go after the criminals that keep trying to do that. if for the gas stations that are making a good faith effort to protect their property and people's data, but it was all about politics.
Representative Bob Rommel joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Some of the other things that are happening, we're in the home stretch here at Tallahassee. What are some of the things you're keeping an eye on? Tell me.
Well, a bill that I'm working on myself, and this is a tough one too, because it's always the food fight between the trial attorneys and the insurance companies. In Florida, we have very, very high homeowners insurance rates. Matter of fact, they're going up about 30% per year with no end in sight. So the trial attorneys are always blaming everything bad on the insurance companies, and there are some bad insurance companies, but if you notice, I don't know who your homeowners insurance is. We don't have a lot of the big national carriers writing homeowners insurance in Florida, and it's not because they're afraid of hurricanes or floods. They know how to determine that. In Florida, we have so many lawsuits. We have so many lawsuits on homeowners insurance, and since 2013, insurance companies have actually paid out $15 billion in claims. So doing some research, I wanted to know where all the money went. Kind of like Cuban Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire, show me the money. Yeah. Well, I found out where the money goes. Out of the $15 billion, $10.4 billion of that went to attorneys, 4.6 or whatever the balance would be went to fix homes. So we know where the problem is, and we're trying to fix it. But again, it's a battle up here because the trial attorneys, they have a lot of power. And, and there are some bad insurance companies. So that's a big fight. And unfortunately, it's pretty much a party line fight again.
All right. So you keep up that good fight. And then I know there was one other one that you wanted to mention this morning. Certainly strikes home.
It's, it was the bill that, again, I don't know why it's a political issue bill, but it's a bill protecting women's sports. We have now in some states, and we've seen this whole woke movement around the nation, that there are some transgender people that were born as a male that have converted to be a female, but now they want to compete in women's sports and take away a scholarship possibly from a girl that maybe played softball, and now she's competing with Jerry Carter. And it's not fair. It's not right. And to me, what's most surprisingly, these women activist groups are not supporting the bill. They think it's okay. To me, if I had a daughter and she had a chance to get a scholarship because she was a good athlete, a good student, and then somebody, that was a male a short time ago and now is going to compete for her, I think it's wrong. I think I don't know why we're going down this road. I feel bad for people that have this issue. I don't know what we should do, but I know that we should not allow them to take away a scholarship from somebody that was born a girl.
All right, Representative Bob Rommel, we've got to run. I do appreciate a few minutes of your time, keeping an eye on what's happening in Tallahassee. How long do we have now till the end of the session? Where are we at?
We have 10 more days. I hope.
You hope, yeah. Well, we know how that works. What does it appear to you to be right now? I mean, is it, you hope? I mean, I know you're hopeful.
I think we're going to be good. Fortunately, the state of Florida, because the governor did allow businesses to open, people go back to work. Money is not the biggest issue right now. Our economy is recovered. We're ahead of schedule where we thought we were going to be. There's a lot of projects that need to get done that are going to get funded. Right now, we're down to some real policy issues. And I know we have to go, but one of the policy issues you have to watch from Blaise and Golia. We're trying to make sure we continue to protect our voting system. 11 million people voted on election night. Most of those votes were counted by midnight, and with 99.9999% accuracy, we want to make sure we continue to protect that so we don't, become what's happened in some of those other states.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. All right, Representative Rommel, we appreciate a few minutes. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, sir.
All right, there he goes. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Streaming live, it is drewsteele.com, the website you can watch right now. Speaking of right now, it is time right now. Look at your clock. Look at your watch, wherever you are. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD right now. Caller number 9 at 239-479-5592. We're waiting for you. Caller number 9. You will play and you will win, hopefully. Possibly a PhD. We'll see how you do. Coming up, 9th caller. It's Drew's College next on Daybreak 92.5. Fox News right all along with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
A crash at the intersection of Bayshore Road and Marlbury Way is slowing traffic eastbound on Bayshore. This is near Coon Road as well, so to give you some perspective, you'll need a lot of extra time if you're heading towards the interstate, starting from North Fort Myers eastbound. Also, my commuters in Fort Myers, that crash at Oriole Road and Alico is delaying traffic eastbound towards Three Oaks. New crash just happened not too long ago at Alabama Road in Milwaukee and Lehigh. Westbound delays on Milwaukee. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
We have another potential for strong to severe storms on your Tuesday. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. looks to be the best time frame for now. Primary risk will include gusty wind, even some small hail, and frequent lightning in any of those storms. If you need to track them live with us, download that free Wink weather app so you can dodge the rain. Otherwise, we do get a little bit of dry time as we head through Thursday and Friday. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Kennedy at 3 and Drive Home with Trey Radel at 5. Now, back to Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Summer is here, and Conditioned Air wants to introduce you to our new Easy Comfort solution, the coolest way to get your new AC. Now you can get a new AC unit for one low monthly payment and no down payment. Best of all, annual tune-ups, a smart thermostat, air filters, and repairs due to normal wear and tear are all included. Call Conditioned Air today, the comfort people since 1962. 1-888-COLD-AIR or online at conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and want out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
The real estate market is really hot right now. But for how long? I'm Anthony Gomes from GomesBuysHomes.com. You've heard Drew Steele talk about me on his show. If you're thinking about selling, now is the time. You can get a full market value offer on your home as fast as 24 hours without you having to do repairs, and you pick the closing date. Book your free, no pressure, no obligation consultation now at GomesBuysHomes.com. That's GomesBuysHomes.com.
Guys, more candles on the cake means less testosterone in the tank. But we can turn this back into this.
Oh, yeah.
You just need a tune-up.
In men, low testosterone can lead to muscle loss, extra body fat, fatigue, depression, and erectile dysfunction. Suboptimal hormone levels are associated with the development of disease states like osteoporosis, heart disease, and stroke. At Neogenics, we specialize in testosterone, growth hormone promoters, bioidentical hormones, and nutritional programs designed to correct these imbalances and make you feel revitalized. See why patients from across the country are coming to Neogenics and take the first step to feeling great again. Call Neogenics for a free consultation at 277-9999 or find us online at neogenicmd.com. That's 277-9999. neogenicmd.com. Neogenics, rediscover your youth. 277-9999.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Steve in Naples. Hey, Steve.
Drew, how are you?
Steve. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD or associate's degree. Question starts right now. Hey, Steve. This morning we hear of the passing of former Vice President of the United States, Walter Mondale, 93 years of age. Who was he vice president under? Who was the president at the time?
Walter Mondale. All right.
Walter Mondale was the vice president, so who was the president?
Yeah. I understand.
Yes.
You got me on this, so I'll go Nixon.
It was actually Jimmy Carter. Jimmy. That's all right. All right, well, let's see if you get an associate's degree on this question. The individual who won the GOP nomination for president of the United States in the year 2000. Who was that?
GW.
Can we accept GW? Yeah, of course we can. There's a ding for you. All right, you got an associate's. We'll see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. FDR served as president of the United States for how many years? 9, 11, or 12?
12.
Correct. All right, you got a bachelor's. We'll see if you get a master's degree on this question. Listen carefully. In 1963, the United States Postal Service started what they called the Zone Improvement Program. What do we call it today? The Zone Improvement. The Zone Improvement Program. We use them today, but what do we call it?
What are they? Zip codes?
That is correct, sir. What a get! I mean, good for you. Good for you, Steve.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations. You got a master's degree today on Drew's College. How do you feel?
Excellent, Drew.
Good.
Just driving to Fort Myers, buddy. You made my day.
All right. Well, listen. I appreciate that. Thanks so much for the call, Steve. We appreciate it there. Naples driving to Fort Myers and Drew's College. We do it each and every day. And do you see? It's feel good, everybody. When you play Drew's College, he feels like $1 million. You see that? So it's another reason why you should play. Or do the home version, which is basically just listening to us or watching at drewsteele.com and playing along. All right, when we come back, the Derek Chauvin case, as we know, jurors resume deliberation. The nation awaits the decision, the verdict. 12 jurors met behind closed doors about 3 hours Monday before taking a break for the night at 8 p.m. We'll get into the details of what the judge had to say yesterday. Made some very interesting comments coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau. You can count on us for great service. You can count on us to get it done. You can count on us for a price that's fair. The quality is second to none. For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
You probably know Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano for car accidents and other personal injury matters. But did you know they have attorneys who specialize in many other areas of the law? Whether you're in need of creating or updating your will and testament, or need advice about divorce or child custody, they have an attorney for you. And unlike the all-too-familiar competitors, at Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano, you'll be meeting directly with the attorney handling your matter, not some coordinator or case manager looking to increase their numbers. Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano. They've been serving you for over 35 years. Have a family law question? Are you seeking a divorce or have child custody issues you need resolved? Do you need assistance with dividing property? At Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano, their attorneys can walk you through this difficult process as the needed advocate to protect your legal rights. They've been here for you in the past, they're here today, and will be here for you tomorrow. LDTlaw.com. Offices Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples.
Attention Lee County residents. Lee County Solid Waste and Lee County Parks and Rec will have a household chemical waste collection at the Estero Recreation Center Wednesday, April 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Safely dispose of any old paints, pool chemicals, oils, fluorescent bulbs, or automotive fluids hanging around your garage. The convenient drive-through drop-off at Estero Rec Center is this Wednesday. No need to get out of your car. There is no charge, and no business waste is accepted. For more information, call Lee County Solid Waste at 239-533-8000.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
Day 2 of deliberations. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. It's the first full day of deliberations at former police officer Derek Chauvin's murder trial. The jury got the case late yesterday afternoon.
It was the state versus defense in closing arguments in Minneapolis.
What the defendant did here was a straight-up
felony assault. This was not policing. It was unnecessary.
Prosecutor Steve Slisher with defense attorney Eric Nelson telling jurors that Derek Chauvin had no intent to purposefully use unlawful force, which they would need to decide to convict.
I submit to you that the state has failed to meet its burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
The jury now weighing verdicts on 3 charges in the death of George Floyd, second and third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter, for which the former officer has pled not guilty. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Judge Peter Cahill says about California House Democrat Maxine Waters saying that protesters should stay on the street and get more confrontational if Chauvin's acquitted.
I'll give you that Congresswoman Waters may have given you something on appeal that may result in this whole trial being overturned.
But he denied a defense request for a mistrial. The State Department will announce advisories against travel to about 80% of countries worldwide.
It comes with coronavirus case numbers rising sharply in many places. The department says it's adjusting its advisories to rely more on CDC assessments. Currently, the US warns against travel to 34 countries, many of them war zones. That number could jump to more than 120 in the new guidance. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
The former Austin, Texas sheriff's detective accused of killing his wife, teenage daughter, and her boyfriend Sunday had been accused last year of raping the daughter and was free on bail. Stephen Broderick had a protective order against him. He could get the death penalty for the murders. He was arrested yesterday morning, spotted walking by the side of the road. America's listening to Fox News.
This story is called
Traffic.
A crash at the intersection of Bayshore Road and Marlbury Way is slowing traffic eastbound on Bayshore. This is near Coon Road as well, so to give you some perspective, you'll need a lot of extra time if you're heading towards the interstate, starting from North Fort Myers eastbound. Also, my commuters in Fort Myers, that crash at Oriole Road and Alico is delaying traffic eastbound towards Three Oaks. New crash just happened not too long ago at Alabama Road in Milwaukee and Lehigh. Westbound delays on Milwaukee. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Have that umbrella handy before you head out the door, Southwest Florida. We have another round of rain and storms in the forecast today. Now, the storms do have the potential to become strong at times, and right now I'm targeting that opportunity best between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Primary risk will be those gusty, damaging winds, small hail, and even frequent lightning. Now, Wednesday does feature another opportunity for rain and storms, but that severe potential looks to be a lot lower as our atmosphere stabilizes. Otherwise, late this week, we do get a little bit of dry time. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News.
92.5 Fox News proudly presents The Plot Against the President, showing at the Silver Spot Theater at Mercado in Naples, Thursday, April 29th. Featuring live and in person, California Congressman Devin Nunes, Kash Patel, Jack Langer, and producer Amanda Milius. The Plot Against the President is presented by Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group, PlantationShuttersForYou.com. Keep listening to 92.5 Fox News for details.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. New South is Florida's factory direct window company. We manufacture, install, and guarantee your windows for life. One company, one call. Our replacement windows are made to better enhance the energy efficiency of your home and stand up to Florida weather. New South Window, home of the ultimate Florida window for you. Made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers, because we know Florida weather.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Call 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Being involved in a legal dispute can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Ellie Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Understanding the law and the rules of evidence can mean the difference between winning or losing your case. If you are involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples. Show your love for the environment and our community this Earth Day, April 22nd, by participating in Collier County's Reuse and Recycle event. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., you can bring hazardous products from around the house. Things like paint, batteries, electronics, and prescription medications for environmentally safe disposal. You can bring paper for shredding and clothing and books for donation. This Recycle and Reuse event will be held at Naples Town Center in East Naples in the Goodwill parking lot at 3759 Tamiami Trail. You don't have to wait until Earth Day to show your love for the environment, Collier County's recycling centers are open Monday to Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Brought to you by Collier County Solid and Hazardous Waste Management Division, Operation Medicine Cabinet, Goodwill Industries of Florida, and Safeguard Shredding. For information, call 252-7575. That's 252-7575. Come celebrate Earth Day with us on April 22nd from 9 to 4.
So you say the time has finally come. It's here. I can't do it anymore. I can't have my water in my house smelling like chlorine. I just got to stop. I can't handle the hard water stains around my faucets and my shower glass. Make it stop. The water drying out your skin and your hair. Listen, you can. Just make the call. Call right now for your free Pentair water test. Pelican is now Pentair Water Solutions, the pros. And the number is 239-880-7799. Look, chlorine, ugly lime scale, iron. You can do something right now. Give Max a call, a uniformed Pentair water specialist, and he can find and handle your city or well water issues. We know we have them here in Southwest Florida. And look, with the mobile showroom, you can see for yourself that Pentair has both high-performance salt systems and the salt-free solution, too. And salt-free means no lugging in bags of salt. And they can even install your Pentair water system for you. And I'm telling you, you are going to love the way your water tastes from every single faucet and the peace of mind that only a Pentair water system can give you. So call now. Get your free water test. Give Max a call at 239-880-7799 or book online at pelicanwestfl.com.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment, we've got you covered.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. We always appreciate you watching. So what exactly did Maxine Waters ask for before she showed up in Minnesota? The answer may or may not surprise you. We're going to have that coming up in just a second as we're waiting to hear this week, certainly from the jurors in the Derek Chauvin trial. The deliberations resumed today. We wait for a verdict. The 12 jurors behind closed doors yesterday, they met for a few hours up until 8 p.m. And then what will happen today, we're going to find out. 5.5 hours of closing arguments on Monday, 2 hours, 46 minutes from the prosecution and 2 hours and 47 minutes from the defense. Barely a break in between. And it depends on who you ask to see how these charges will come out. And many people are saying that they could see this being a manslaughter charge. And that's how it should play out. And I will tell you this, that will be a bad conclusion for those that are getting ready to peacefully protest. Did I say peacefully protest? You would imagine there would be peaceful protests because they were told that there are going to be protests no matter what the decision is. The problem is that they're not necessarily going to be peaceful. I mean, if they were peaceful, why are 250 National Guard troops being called up to help with in D.C. with some of the police there on the heels of this decision? I mean, if you're peacefully protesting, if you're expecting that is going to be the case, then 250 National Guard troops seems like a lot. The last words from the prosecution and the defense, the prosecutor, Steve Schleicher, said, in this case, exactly what you believed, exactly what you saw with your eyes, exactly what you knew, exactly what you felt in your gut. It's what you now know in your heart. This wasn't policing. This was murder. Defense attorney Eric Nelson saying in this case, the totality of the circumstances, everything that was presented, and these are my words, by the way, everything that was presented in the case. And remember, it was bits and pieces of the case that people were getting to hear from during the prosecution, not a whole lot during the defense, bits and pieces that the media were allowing to be out there. But in totality, when you hear the case, as the defense attorney was making the comments yesterday demonstrates this was an authorized use of force, as unattractive as it may be. And the judge saying the case is important and serious, deserves your careful consideration. Doesn't every case? Yesterday on Newsmax, it was Alan Dershowitz who commented on this and sees how it's going to go and believes that one of the big issues was Maxine Waters showing up in Minnesota. And when she showed up there, and we all know exactly what happened, we all heard the audio of the comments that we should be confrontational. Remember that.
Well, we got to stay on the street, and we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
So what did Alan Dershowitz say on Newsmax yesterday about this?
Well, first of all, the judge should have granted the motion for a mistrial based on the efforts of Congresswoman Waters to influence the jury. Her message to get to the jury, if you acquit, or if you find a charge less than murder, we will burn down your buildings. We will burn down your businesses. We will attack you. We will do what happened to the witness, blood on their door. This was an attempt to intimidate the jury. It's borrowed precisely from the Ku Klux Klan of the 1930s and 1920s, when the Klan would march outside of courthouses and threaten all kinds of reprisals if the jury ever dared convict a white person or acquit a black person. And so efforts to intimidate a jury should result in a mistrial. But the judge, of course, wouldn't grant it a mistrial, because then he'd be responsible for the riots that would ensue, even though it was Waters who was responsible.
That is incredible to hear. Very telling of what we may see, but also where we are today. And it's this: that there are people in this country that want you to believe that the mob rules. That's where we are, that the people will not be satisfied unless their justice is served, not justice through the criminal justice system being served, as much as has been made about. And there was a very interesting article in Legal Insurrection. It was Andrew Branca who was talking about this case and more witnesses and jury intimidation by activists and politicians threatening violence if no murder conviction takes place. You heard what Alan Dershowitz said on Newsmax about this, the threats. Remember, he brought up the former home of defense use of force expert witness Barry Broad. You may not have heard this. I don't know if you did or not. Was vandalized with blood. And in case there was any ambiguity in the messaging, as it was described in this article, a severed pig's head was also left behind. Although this act of judicial terrorism has gone largely unreported by U.S. press, it's certainly been noted on platforms like Twitter. Jack Prosobic put this out there, and others. Blood smeared across the home of Derek Chauvin witness, and severed pig's head is left on the steps after he testified in the Floyd trial. Like, is this the new norm? Is this what we're going to see from now on? Like, these tactics now being used, suddenly discovered by some, and are now going to be the tactics ahead of a trial of this magnitude or any magnitude. Given that Broad's testimony in the case is long since over, it can't be a message targeting him personally. There's nothing left to intimidate him about. No, it can only be understood as a chilling message for the jurors in the Chauvin case who were not sequestered over the weekend and thus fully exposed to the push news of social media. Is that being talked about enough? The jury over the weekend was not sequestered. A whole weekend, including the news of Maxine Waters being there and her statements about being confrontational. It's hard to imagine that a jury unsequestered would not be able to hear about this or would hear from someone about this or anything else that's going on with the case. That Maxine Waters crossed state lines to incite violence among protesters in Minneapolis, urging them to get more confrontational, the audio which you heard. So what about what the judge had to say about this? So a couple of things. And the first thing was what he thought about this specifically and the defense saying, how are we going to do this? How can we have a jury impartial now when they weren't sequestered over the weekend and had the opportunity to hear this news and hear what she said? And doesn't that mean something here?
Yeah, you can supplement the record with whatever media reports. I'm aware of the media reports. I'm aware that Congresswoman Waters was talking specifically about this trial and about the unacceptability of anything less than a murder conviction, and talk about being confrontational. But you can submit the press articles about that. This goes back to what I've been saying from the beginning. I wish elected officials would stop talking about this case, especially in a manner that is disrespectful to the rule of law and to the judicial branch and our function. I think if they want to give their opinions, they should do so in a respectful and in a manner that is consistent with their oath to the Constitution, to respect a co-equal branch of government. Their failure to do so, I think, is abhorrent, but I don't think it has prejudiced us with additional material that would prejudice this jury. They have been told not to watch the news. I trust they are following those instructions, and that there is not in any way a prejudice to the defendant beyond the articles that we're talking specifically about the facts of this case. A congresswoman's opinion really doesn't matter a whole lot. Anyway, so motion for mistrial is denied.
All right, so there was a motion for mistrial. It was denied. What she says doesn't hold weight. He believes that a jury was told to not watch news and not, they weren't sequestered, but to not listen to news stories, to not hear from others and hear about what's been transpiring over the weekend. That's a tough one in this day and age with social media and computers in the palm of your hand and the like. And it's just that's a tough sell for a lot of people. But the judge did say it was abhorrent. He was concerned about what certain individuals are doing. But then he also made another interesting comment after, and he said this.
And it is so pervasive that I just don't know how this jury, it can really be said to be that they are free from the taint of this.
Now, that is the defense saying, I don't know how it's possible that with Maxine Waters there showing up and everything that we've been hearing about blood on stained on doors and a congresswoman showing up in words of confrontation and taken to the streets, and how the jury cannot be tainted. And the judge says,
and now that we have U.S. representatives threatening acts of violence in relation to this specific case, it's mind-boggling to me, John.
Okay, now, yeah, that was the continuation of what the defense said. Mind-boggling. What do you say about this? And the judge says,
well, I'll give you that Congresswoman Waters may have given you something on appeal that may result in this whole trial being overturned. But what?
Oof. Giving us something for appeal that may have this whole case being overturned? Those are pretty powerful words. But again, and Nancy Pelosi, by the way, she doesn't have a problem with what Maxine Waters did. Nothing to see here. Move along. So, how you have mob violence ruling the day in politics and ruling the day in decisions being made by courts? I mean, is that where we are? Is that where you expect us to be after all of this? That whatever decision is put down here and decided by this jury based on the evidence presented before them, hopefully, and not being tainted by any information that could have come into their purview over the weekend. Boy, it's going to be hard to see what we're going to do in this country moving forward if there are people in this country who believe that the tearing down of statues and monuments, hey, listen, we get to make this decision. Doesn't go to city councils. It doesn't get to members of the population of a specific community. We'll make the decision, and that's just the way it is. You don't. that we're going to call this a peaceful protest, but at the end of the day, we're going to burn and loot and riot. That's not a peaceful protest. The reasons why the governor put out HB 1 and signed this yesterday into law, that we don't want to see this in the state. But another interesting little tidbit came out yesterday as well. We come to find out that Maxine Waters' documents showed that before she went to Minnesota, guess what she asked for? You know what she asked for? She asked for police protection before advocating the unrest in Minnesota, which seems to be along the lines of what many people have been doing on the left, where on one hand, they're going to be calling for you to defund police departments, again, part of HB 1 here in the state, and the defunding of police that we do not want to see here in the state, because we know what that means. Defunding police means communities that are not as safe as they could be. But it is interesting that she called for police protection. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, on numerous occasions, spent, in one instance in March, January, February, March, $3,000 a month on security, based out of Brooklyn. $9,000 she spent, security consultant. $24,000 in January on security. January 19th, 2021, $3,000 on security services. A lot of security going for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Ilhan Omar spent money as well in January and February to the tune of hundreds of dollars for security services. February 26th, she spent $2,700 on security services. In a June 2020 appearance on CNN, when Omar was asked about defunding the police, she said the system could not be reformed. But yet there she is, and along with some others that you may know on the left, who all spend a whole lot of money on their own protection, police protection for them, but not for you. Is that how that works? Yeah, well, you know, either they did or they didn't. But again, as we get closer to the conclusion of this case and the jury who will make this decision coming up, one thing is certain, that we hear over and over again how there's going to be protests and rioting on the streets after the decision is made, no matter what it is. We have individuals like Andrew McCarthy in National Review and Alan Dershowitz and others who have been looking at and reviewing the case and looking at it in its totality and believe that manslaughter charges are probable, but as far as murder charges, not being the case. And how in our system, ultimately, the American vision of justice has always been based on that process. That it doesn't make a difference where the individual who is charged with a crime fits when it comes to the severity, how you look at something and saying this is an open and shut case. They all are afforded. Everyone is afforded due process. And the denial of that by a mob who says, it's our way, this is it. No matter how severe the case may be, that denial of criminal due process to even the worst of us can only lead to denial of criminal due process to the rest of us. And therein lies mob, quote unquote, justice, and that is the problem. And that was so well written in this piece in Legal Insurrection. That was Andrew Bronco. 239-479-5592. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, don't forget the top 5 audio clips of the day. The 5 at 8:35 is on the way. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. And you can watch. DrewSteele.com is the website. We always appreciate that. Right all along.
92.5 Fox News. More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, this is Keith, the owner of Storm Shield Windows in North Fort Myers, and Storm Shield wants you to be prepared for the upcoming season. Global Weather Oscillations, an organization that predicts storms and hurricanes, has just been cited as the most accurate in storm forecasting by the media. Professor David Dilley, senior forecaster for Global Weather Oscillations, says that GWO's Climate Pulse technology model indicates that some regions of the United States have entered or will be entering the most dangerous hurricane landfall cycle in 70 years.
The experience with their product was great. We went through the storm. We didn't have to rush around and get plywood. We didn't have to put up shutters. It wasn't loud. It wasn't scary. There was no noise at all. We could see outside the whole time. We felt safe, and I just can't thank Storm Shield enough for the quality of their product and the peace of mind and security that it gave my family and me through the storm.
Enjoy the peace of mind, safety, and security that Storm Shield Hurricane Windows and Doors will add to your home. Call Storm Shield for a free in-home estimate today at 239-491-7000. 491-7002.
License number CGCEA 60475.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, "What is that beautiful SUV?" I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, "How much does it cost?" I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines and rear and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. New 2021 Genesis G70s have 0% financing and 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. And we have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples at Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com.
All offers with approved credit on select models. Based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months of $0 per month per 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, the real estate market's hot right now, but for how long? Well, nobody really knows. If people don't catch up on their mortgage payments because of COVID, the market's going to get flooded with foreclosure inventory, and that's scary because your home's value could plummet. If you thought about selling your home, now is the time to do it, but you don't want to make any costly mistakes. That's why you need to get with Anthony Gomes from GomesBuysHomes.com. See, he's been buying, selling, brokering, and investing in real estate for 20 years. Mistakes in real estate, well, they can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So Anthony's created a free value pack training that's going to reveal 3 secrets on how to sell your home fast and for top dollar in this crazy real estate market. It's free. It won't cost you anything. Just go to GomesBuysHomes.com now. There's no obligation. GomesBuysHomes.com now.
Do you consider yourself the best of the best in HVAC? Conditioned Air is looking for A players to join our winning team. If you consider yourself an A player and love customer service, you should apply so we can get your career path started. We have several top-paying positions available now in Sarasota, Fort Myers, and Naples. Don't wait. Go online to ConditionedAir.com and apply right now. Conditioned Air, the comfort people since 1962. License number CAC 1819590. Do you consider yourself the best of the best in HVAC? Conditioned Air is looking for A players to join our winning team. If you consider yourself an A player and love customer service, you should apply so we can get your career path started. We have several top-paying positions available now in Sarasota, Fort Myers, and Naples. Don't wait. Go online to ConditionedAir.com and apply right now. Conditioned Air, the comfort people since 1962. License number CAC 1819590.
I've been asked, did you plan on becoming the largest injury law firm in the world? And the answer is no. We set out to be focused on our clients and to have a commitment to trying cases and winning. And when you have those results at trial, you're able to settle most of your cases quickly and fairly. Hard work and client satisfaction was our plan. It worked. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When the expected comes calling, bounce forward with Comcast Business, the network that can divide gig speeds to the most businesses. And bounce forward with the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next. Go to ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. Minneapolis bracing for possible unrest once the jury reaches a verdict in the murder trial of former officer Derek Chauvin over the death of George Floyd.
This entire city is boarded up. My hotel room, they're putting plywood over the front of the hotel entrance because there is fear here. There's fear here if this police officer is acquitted or doesn't get enough years in prison, this city could burn once again as it did a year ago.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Minneapolis.
Derek Chauvin faces a series of charges on murder and manslaughter. The penalty range could be anywhere from 4 years in prison up to 40 years.
Dow futures are down, and for those who enjoy a hot dog while shopping,
Nathan's Famous will be selling its hot dogs at Walmart. The hot dog chain is moving into about 100 Walmart stores, taking over locations being vacated by McDonald's.
Fox's Ginny Cosola. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News traffic.
A crash at the intersection of Bayshore Road and Marlbury Way is slowing traffic eastbound on Bayshore. This is near Coon Road as well, so to give you some perspective, you'll need a lot of extra time if you're heading towards the interstate, starting from North Fort Myers eastbound. Also, my commuters in Fort Myers, that crash at Oriole Road and Alico is delaying traffic eastbound towards Three Oaks. New crash just happened not too long ago at Alabama Road in Milwaukee and Lehigh. Westbound delays on Milwaukee. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Have that umbrella handy before you head out the door, Southwest Florida. We have another round of rain and storms in the forecast today. Now, the storms do have the potential to become strong at times, and right now I'm targeting that opportunity best between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Primary risk will be those gusty, damaging winds, small hail, and even frequent lightning. Now, Wednesday does feature another opportunity for rain and storms, but that severe potential looks to be a lot lower as our atmosphere stabilizes. Otherwise, late this week, we do get a little bit of dry time. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomato's Sports Page. Do you feel American pride and want to shout, God bless America? As a son of immigrants who came through Ellis Island, I stand when the national anthem plays and get emotional thinking of those who have sacrificed for America's greatness. At Stevie's, we're filled with gratitude for our great customers and the country we live in. The firemen, police, emergency service, construction workers, and those who go about each day providing the foundation for our country. We love our customers and express our gratitude with our food, service, and value. Thankful for your dedication for what you do. And to all our great customers, show your love for this great country by going to any Stevie's. Stand at the bar and say loud and clear for all to hear, God bless America, and I'll buy you a 10-ounce beer. Restrictions apply in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. God bless America.
Stevie Tomatoes, Sports Page. Come for the food. Stay for the sports.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
Got mold?
In your house?
What do I do now?
Call 239-936-1033.
Call Fire
service, your disaster response friends.
You've heard it before. We beat the competition. So many businesses say that now. But how many companies actually ask you to call the competition and then compare their windows to Window World windows? We will come into your home, or you can come to our showroom, and we'll give you an honest, fair, free estimate of what it would take to upgrade your windows to more energy-efficient windows. No tricks, no high pressure. We want you happy with your new windows, not feeling like you were forced into buying them.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. We offer you top quality windows at the best price available with the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business.
If something goes wrong with your new windows, we'll fix it, even if the neighborhood kids accidentally hit a baseball through it or anything else. Window World quality windows, great price. Even hurricane-rated impact windows are available to offer an increased level of security to your home. Call Window World today. Window World, simply the best for less.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for a patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America. NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com is the website. There I am. There you are. There's Jake. We appreciate you watching. Steele has 3 E's, so make sure you get that right, correct? All right, let's find out what's going on right now with the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's a 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
Well, first of all, the judge should have granted the motion for a mistrial based on the efforts of Congresswoman Waters to influence the jury. Her message was clearly intended to get to the jury. If you acquit, or if you find a charge less than murder, we will burn down your buildings. We will burn down your businesses. We will attack you. We will do what happened to the witness, blood on their door. This was an attempt to intimidate the jury. It's borrowed precisely from the Ku Klux Klan of the 1930s and 1920s, when the Klan would march outside of courthouses and threaten all kinds of reprisals if the jury ever dared convict a white person or acquit a black person. And so efforts to intimidate a jury should result in a mistrial. But the judge, of course, wouldn't grant a mistrial because then he'd be responsible for the riots that would ensue, even though it was Waters who was responsible.
Man, it's hard to imagine that. So that's Alan Dershowitz on Newsmax yesterday saying that they should have said it was a mistrial, but he didn't because the judge doesn't want to be the one to start a riot. You've got someone who was a witness who had blood put on their door and a severed pig's head put there as well. You have the pressure on jurors of making the right decision, and Maxine Waters showing up in Minnesota talking about being confrontational, and yet there's nothing that's going to happen on that side when it comes to the judge making a decision on it being a mistrial. Not going to happen. We found that out yesterday, but the intimidation certainly there, and what will happen next on the streets of American cities across the country after this decision is made, well, it remains to be seen.
Number 4.
These opportunities are equally available to women as well as men. Because there's an interesting fact, in case you didn't know, hard hats are actually unisex. Everybody's laughing.
Yeah. Nobody was laughing. During a Monday speech in North Carolina promoting the president's $2 trillion infrastructure proposal, the vice president, Kamala Harris, tried to crack a joke there about hard hats and being unisex. And she's like, everybody's laughing. And nobody's laughing. Well, she's laughing. She's always laughing. She laughs at herself. That awkward kind of, I think it's funny, right? You know, that awkward kind of laugh that you hear from some people sometimes? Like that one?
So he's going to be 79 years old.
Okay. I didn't get to the number, what it is yet. Hold on.
Number 3.
So he's going to be 79 years old. That is not old. I know many people in their late 80s that are just as good as they were years ago. I spoke to one who's 92 years old. He said, I feel better than I did 20 years ago. 78, 79 is not old. But he, look, I don't think it's even appropriate for me to comment on that.
Not appropriate for the president to talk about the president in office right now. That's former President Trump with Hannity last night, being asked about Joe Biden's age and his mental acuity. And he doesn't want to comment on that. But listen, he's an older guy, 78, 70. There's a lot of competent people that are his age. Well, I'll say it. I mean, if the president doesn't want to say it, I'll say it.
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Yeah, well, there's that, right?
Number 2.
Yeah, you can supplement the record with whatever media reports. I'm aware of the media reports. I'm aware that Congresswoman Waters was talking specifically about this trial and about the unacceptability of anything less than a murder conviction, and talk about being confrontational, but you can submit the press articles about that. This goes back to what I've been saying from the beginning. I wish elected officials would stop talking about this case, especially in a manner that is disrespectful to the rule of law and to the judicial branch and our function. I think if they want to give their opinions, they should do so in a respectful and in a manner that is consistent with their oath to the Constitution, to respect a co-equal branch of government. Their failure to do so, I think, is abhorrent, but I don't think it has prejudiced us with additional material that would prejudice this jury. They have been told not to watch the news. I trust they are following those instructions.
Let's hope so, because after a weekend which they were not sequestered, the judge believing that they weren't going to follow news stories or social media or find out what Maxine Waters said there in Minnesota, the judge understanding that the defense was putting out all this information and put it on the record, but he felt like a mistrial was not necessary in the case, but was pretty offended about what was happening, certainly, and so have a lot of other people been as well.
Number 1.
We saw really unprecedented disorder and rioting throughout the summer of 2020, and we said that's not going to happen here in the state of Florida, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to protect the people of our great state, people's businesses and property against any type of mob activity or violent assemblies.
And so with that, the governor yesterday signing into law HB 1, the anti-rioting bill.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
It is not an anti-protest bill. It is not a you're not allowed to protest bill. It's hard to believe that there are some news outlets that have actually put that out there. Yes, News Service of Florida with their headline, which is maybe you might consider to be a little outrageous when they're saying it's an anti-protest bill. It's not an anti-protest bill. Why are you even saying that? And the sad thing is that you have a lot of news outlets across the state who parrot that as well. DeSantis signs protest bill as controversy continues. It's not a protest bill. It's an anti-rioting bill. It's hard to believe that there are not people who know well, of course they know the difference, but they want to make it sound like it's something that it is not. And again, Sheriff Grady Judd, who was making the case as well yesterday with pictures showing what a protest looks like and what a riot looks like, just in case there are members of the media who don't get it.
I want to make sure everybody knows this is a peaceful protest. We encourage it. It's the foundation of our country, and we want people to peacefully protest when they feel the need. This is a riot, and this will get you locked up before quick in the state of Florida. Pay attention. We've got new law.
Got a new law. Pay attention. How do you feel about that? 239-479-5592, where we have HB 1 now signed into law. Rioting and violence, no place in Florida. We're not doing it. We're not going to have rioting on the streets after the jury decides the Derek Chauvin case. And we're going to have rioting on the streets here in Florida. We're not going to do it. We're not going to have people blocking the way on major highways. We're not going to have people running up to you while you're trying to dine on Fifth Avenue South, or whether you're trying to dine downtown Fort Myers and screaming in your face and getting in your face. And and doing all of these. We're not going to allow all of these things to happen. We're not going to allow people to loot and destroy buildings. We're also not going to allow for mobs of individuals to decide that that statue, that monument, needs to be torn down because they don't like it. Well, it's a Confederate monument, Drew. Don't you think? No, it's not your decision to make. And then you have the left in this state. You have Nikki Fried, Florida's agriculture secretary, there on the steps of the Capitol. Hate Bill 1, they're calling it. And describing it as unconstitutional and racist. And saying that's the Florida Republican priority, is being unconstitutional and being racist. And I wonder what you think. 239-479-5592. So we're going to get to your calls in just a second. Jake, if you want to grab those. Also, something else that I thought was interesting. The president who was on Hannity's program. Let's see if I could find this portion of the clip yesterday when he was talking about what is happening in certain states across the country. Listen to this.
Went down. We've come back stronger than any other country in the world. You know, they used to hit me with Germany and France and this and that. Well, they're doing terribly right now. They're all locked down. It's a disaster. They're having riots on their streets. This country is coming back strong. And it's very interesting. Places like Florida and Texas and many others, I mean, I could name many others, I think in almost all cases run by Republicans. I think in all cases, but they've done so well. And you look, I saw the other day, Michigan. I would say there's been nothing as close, other than for her husband, who was, had free run of the place. I don't think that there's been any state more locked up than Michigan.
Are you running again in 2024? What are the odds?
All right, well, let me get to that in just a second. But he mentioned Michigan, right? Get this. Governor Whitmer in Michigan on Meet the Press with Chuck Todd talking about Florida and the issues of Florida and Michigan. And the problem with Michigan is Floridians in Florida. No, I'm not kidding. Listen to this.
Well, at the end of the day, this is going to come down to whether or not everyone does their part. That's the most important thing.
You're talking about COVID, right? Everybody's got to do their part. These lockdowns, things that happen in Michigan and the problems that they're having, everybody's got to do their part, right?
This variant, the B117 variant, is what is growing so quickly here in Michigan. We have the second most of it, then I think right after Florida. At least that was the last data that I saw. Michigan and Florida are not next to each other, but this is the time of the year that snowbirds come home from Florida, where people are going on spring break, and all of these things can contribute to spread. And that's why we're imploring people to take this seriously, mask up, get tested.
All right. So you see what it is? It's Florida that's the problem. In Michigan, everything was fine until the snowbirds, they come to Florida and they go back to Michigan and they're bringing all of the vid with them. It's just awful. It's their fault. Until we find out that, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Governor Whitmer take a trip of her own? Didn't I understand that she took a trip to Florida recently as well? But it's okay. There's a lot of do as I say, not as I do. But that's a whole other, we don't want to, we certainly don't want to jump on that, do we? Yeah. So there's a lot of that going on. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, what did the president say about running in 2024 on Hannity's program last night? Let me see if I can get back to that moment. Here it is.
2024. What are the odds? If I were to
First of all, it's a long time. The odds. What are the odds? Look,
the odds.
I got tremendous numbers. Nobody's ever gotten the numbers I got. No sitting presidents come even close. There's more popularity now than there was the day before the election because they see how bad things are at the border. They see what's going on. They see that their guns are going to be gone. Their Second Amendment, their taxes are going up. Regulations are going through the roof. Jobs are going to go out. Well, you see, this is going to take a little while to show. But if they add all these regulations back, the jobs are going to be gone. Your energy independence is going to be gone. So I say this. I am looking at it very seriously. Beyond seriously. From a legal standpoint, I don't want to really talk about it yet. It's a little too soon.
If you did...
Okay, so he's looking at it. He's looking into it. But there are a lot of reasons why he would look and maybe see... Well, I don't know, that maybe some things didn't... not only didn't go his way, but maybe they didn't go his way because the narrative was pushed against this president. And the election integrity, I'll even put aside for just a second because you can debate all that. But it is interesting that the insurrection narrative took another hit. Andrea Woodbury talking about this in American Thinker. Democrats insisting that January 6th was a murderous, white supremacist, Trump-incited insurrection. An important element of this narrative was the fact that Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick died on January 7th, or according to Democrats, Trump supporters savagely attacked Sicknick with a fire extinguisher. Does everybody remember that? Does everybody remember the narrative that was out there, that it was these the Trump supporters savagely killing Officer Sicknick? Where's some of that audio there?
Officer Brian Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher during the hours-long attack.
They beat a Capitol Police officer to death with a fire extinguisher.
Officer Brian Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher during the fight.
He died at the age of 42 after he was bludgeoned with a fire extinguisher.
Kept talking about it over and over and over again. Come to find out that that's not what happened at all. January 8th, the New York Times reported as fact that he died Thursday night from injuries sustained while physically engaged with pro-Trump rioters and the fire extinguisher. They ran with it. Every liberal-leaning news outlet ran with it. Probably even some local and state outlets ran with it. And what do we come to find out today? That didn't happen at all. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick died of natural causes a day after supporters of President Trump rioted at the Capitol on January 6th. This is from the New York Times. Chief medical examiner from Washington, D.C. told, the Washington Post, there you go. Suffering 2 strokes the day after the riot caused by a blood clot. So he didn't die getting hit with a fire extinguisher. That narrative is gone. But that narrative was part of the narrative that was used to remove the president of the United States through impeachment, or at least the opportunity that would be taken away from the former president to run once again in 2024, let's say, by damaging his character, his credibility, his ability to run again. But this is what the left and Democrats have done all along. They continue to do this. Run with these narratives. And so as more and more information like this comes out, as more and more examples come out of how the former president was treated, as more and more information starts to come out about what Joe Biden plans on doing, including something that has to be discussed, he's set to push critical race theory on U.S. schools. That was from National Review. We talked about that a little in depth on this program earlier. Stanley Kurtz had the article. It is happening. The district can say, yeah, we're not doing anything with teaching critical race theory. Yeah, we're not doing that. But yet the Biden administration is pushing it. The Department of Education imposing the most radical forms of critical race theory on our schools. They plan on doing it. What's the district going to do to push back? As all of this comes out, what's happening with the economy, what the former president described on Hannity's program, and plus some of what we may see in the next few hours and days leading up to the decision made by the jury in the Derek Chauvin case, one thing is certain. We even have Democrats in this country who are looking at Joe Biden and saying, that's no moderate. Looking at the policy saying, that's not what I signed up for. Looking at mob rule and intimidation against juries and jurors and officers and individuals and politicians and saying, that's not what we signed up for at all. And so to that point, I think the former president is right. All right. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. We appreciate you joining us today on Daybreak. Glenn Beck is next. In the meantime, let's find out how the remainder of our forecast is shaping up with Wink News meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
We have another potential for strong